heartfelt gratitude goes out to Al Hartman, Alan Huffman, Alan Murphy, ARG, John and Aaron, Blair Ledoux, Brendan Donaghy, Brian Weasler, D. Bruce Moore, Davey Mitchell, Diego, Patrick Randolph, Eric Canales, Frodo NL, Glenn Hewlett, Graham Vebke, Grant Leedy, Henry Strickland, Jason Downs, Jenna Farron, Ken Riker, Kyle Etter, Malfoy, Michael Pisley, Rick Hewlin, Paul Fiscarelli.
He said he did.
Paul Thayer, Richard Lorbieski,
My YouTube went to
the Backyard Check-In, Tom C, Tom S,
Did it go plaid?
and Tony C. Thank you ever so much, Faith. CoCoTALK is an unscripted live broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own, and not necessarily those of the CoCoTALK show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged, sense of humor recommended. If any off-color comments were made, we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
This is CoCoTALK, the only show in the world featuring David Ladd. It's time to grease your weasel and do whatever yo please'll, cause we're about to rock your 8-bit world. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's a very happy, and a very special CoCo Christmas. We're coming at you live with CoCoTALK, episode 192 of Very CoCo Christmas.
This smells like Simon Jonasson.
Just a hint of cheese.
Well, for those listening, we have Santa, and it says, "Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas," and he's rotating around. It's a very impressive demo. You can find this demo on our Discord, and I think was it Facebook or Discord? I can't remember.
Facebook.
To it.
Santa's rotating like a Quake mission.
Did we complete the level?
Curtis, Amigos Retro Gaming asked you a question in chat. Yeah, in YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'm answering it right now.
Oh, okay.
And you and everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we live? I wouldn't play the whole video again. It was pretty long.
Hello. Thank you. Wow, there I okay, there I am. Woo. Bada.
We didn't really come up with much of
We
an
didn't really
order.
have one, so we're gonna win
Patrons
it.
who sponsor our show, so our heartfelt gratitude goes out to Al Hartman.
I'm ready to do I'm ready to do Game On whenever you want
ARG,
to.
John and Aaron, Blair Ledoux, Brendan Donahue,
Just
Brian
introduce it.
Weasler, Dee Bruce Moore, Davey Mitchell, Diego, Patrick Randolph,
Say make you ready to do Game On or whatever.
Frodo
I'll say
L,
yes, I
Glenn
am.
Hewitt, Graham Vebsky, Grant Leedy, Henry Strickland, Jason Downs, Jenna Farron,
James Jones says
Ed
we're
Ryder,
visible and audible
Kyle
on
Edder,
YouTube.
Malfa, Michael Pesley, Rick Hewlett, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul
Hot
Shoemaker,
mics,
Paul
hot
Thayer,
mics.
Richard Lorvieski, Rob Inman, Stephen Wagner, Terry Steen, The Backyard
yeah.
Check-In, Tom C,
Rock
Tom
and roll.
S,
Has the
Tim
stream
Linder,
started?
and Tony
I see the opening
Thank
credits.
you ever
I'm
so
kidding.
much, patrons.
CoCo Talk is an unscripted
Recording is
live
echoing,
broadcast.
Ken's thing.
Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own and not necessarily those of
It's
the
probably
CoCo
Mark's
Talk
system's
show,
probably
its
feeding back
sponsors,
into the
affiliates,
live stream.
or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged,
See if I
sense
can-
of humor recommended. If any off-color
Yeah, it's
comments were
echoing.
made,
It's a tight echo.
we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Leader, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball.
And Mark, are you recording
and you're
too?
listening to CoCo Talk.
Still a tight echo.
That just means the delay is very short.
Yes, that's what I meant. Well, we're still, YouTube's a bit behind though. Sounds like it's okay now. Oh, wait a sec. Music. It's hard to tell with the music. No, it's echoing.
This is CoCoTALK, the only show in the world featuring David Ladd. It's time to grease your weasel and do whatever yo please'll, cause we're about to rock your 8-bit world.
CoCo We'd like to welcome those short or tall, hardware buffs to software dolls, even David Ladd. CoCo Talk with Stevie Stroh. CoCo Talk, welcome to the show. CoCo Thoughts with Samuel Gimes. Game on challenge, say Nick Baroda 3 times. Nick Baroda, the only talk show featuring David Ladd. Wait for it.
Are we saying there's no audio on the stream?
Yes.
Are you in the ID? Are you running? I don't know what's going on right now.
Oh, yes. Well, they didn't miss anything. They just missed a really bad joke. Yeah. That was, again,
Okay, so
Welcome to our special Murphy's Law Christmas episode.
You're welcome.
yeah. That's all right. You'll get it eventually.
Yep, we're back on.
Woo!
Some people are happy about that. Some are disappointed, but we'll still go
Yeah.
on.
Oh my goodness. Well, despite multiple technical challenges, Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to a very CoCo Christmas. Thank you, Mark B, for picking up the stream when mine failed. What are you gonna do?
But wasn't it just in CoCo Talk fashion? Wasn't yesterday Christmas? So aren't we a day late and possibly $1 short?
2
Before
days
Texas.
late.
Oh, we
Rise
have a
and
caller.
shine, woodchuck chuckers. It's
Oh
Groundhog
my
Day.
goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, are we on the air? Are we streaming? Do we have audio? These are the questions that we may or may not ever find the
Rob
answers
Inman
to.
verifies. He says, unfortunately, everything is working now. So
Oh, okay.
We're
gonna say-
sorry.
Yes. Yes. So thank you, Mark B, for picking up the stream. We had to start and stop. So yeah, I spent some time together compiling and compositing some extra content for our intro. So you heard there Simon Jonason's Christmas demo, which he debuted on Facebook. What do you guys think of that music? It gave me the chills, man. I just really love that demo and the music and everything else. I thought that was really.
Was that when you heard my name, Stevie? Is that the part that gave you chills?
We're
Because
still
it
on
gave
the
me
s-
chills.
We're still in the Simon Jonason part. We haven't gotten to your part.
Oh,
yet, Nick,
sorry.
so-
It's not all
Sorry.
about you, Nick.
Tony,
Tony, you go down
Okay.
just a bit there, Nick.
I feel Simon Jonason didn't mention me enough, but other than that, it was really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that demo. We've seen a few versions of his rotating thing before, but this was a whole new nice the medley soundtrack going on there. Sounds really good on headphones. You can hear the multiple instruments, you can hear the low ends and all that kind of stuff. Sounds really good. Thank you, Simon, for doing that, and for the musical genius of whoever put those notes together. And then, of course, you heard the Nick Marota's favorite new theme song.
Finally, we're talking with that one. Yeah.
So Paul Thayer threw that one together for us. Thanks, Paulie T. He had prior obligations today. Why don't we go around the room and say panel introductions and say hi to everybody? In the top left-hand corner of the Hollywood Squares, I am seeing Rick Euland. How you doing, Rick?
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Our backup streamer, the person who's allowing this train wreck to stay on the rails today, Mark Bosley. Merry Christmas, Mark. All right, a guy who likes having his names mentioned, and it could be in song, it could be in praise, it could be chiseled in stone for all he cares, but it's Nick Marotta.
I can't even deny that today. I've been making, I've been joking, guys. I'm not really this much of a diva.
He
Sure
is
you're
in the
not.
Witness Protection Program today, our resident Apple guy, Mark D. Overholzer. Hello, Mark.
Hello, working on my backup computer, so it's a
There
little
we
slow.
go. If it's got a toggle switch, he's probably made it. Jason the Coco Man Reichert is here. Merry Christmas, Jason.
Merry Christmas, a day late and $1 short, but I've got my Diet Dr. Pepper. Ooh.
That might be worth money. There's a shortage apparently.
Yes.
Oh, that's an old news story, but yes.
Oh, it was old? Oh, okay.
That was old, yes. David just found out.
From Canada, and the co-creator of the Nitrous 9 project and the ease of use beta guy, Curtis Boyle is here.
Hello, everyone. I'm slowly starting to try to catch up on sleep here because the last few days of doing EOU was a mad rush till 2 or 4 in the morning each day. And now I thought I'd be catching up on my sleep, and now the bug reports are flowing in, so I still have to stay up late and figure out what's going on. So,
Excellent. We have a celebrity in our midst, a YouTube celebrity, Canadian retro things. Ken Waters with us there. Happy Boxing Day, Ken.
Boxing Day, Merry Christmas to everybody.
oh, you're silent again there,
Yes,
Ken.
yeah. Resistance is futile. You have been assimilated.
It's technical difficulties day here on
Yes,
CoCoTALK.
it is definitely. Simon,
Just do it the unplugged plug-in again there, Ken.
Yeah. By your command.
This is quite a day.
Your base all belong to us.
Yes.
Oh,
We have
now I've lost my camera.
Oh, you're better.
You're better now, Ken.
Where is Ken? Where do you go?
I lost my camera, I think.
Okay.
Oh.
We hear you fine, though.
Happy Boxing Day, Ken.
Let's try to.
This is our technical difficulties episode. What?
There we go. I'm back.
Camera's back. Ken
If
is
we can
back.
keep everything broke today, then I'd be happy with that for the rest of the year. So
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, we can only go up from here, right? Like the rest of the shows,
Right.
the rest of the year's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely. Brian Weasler's with us. Merry Christmas, Brian Weasler.
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you
Yes.
just fine.
Okay, because going along with the theme of the hardware issues today, this is what happened to my headphones. So,
no.
so I'm on my backup headphones.
That'll buff right out. Just crazy glue in there.
Should we just quit the show before the
duct-
nuclear bomb goes off? I don't know.
Little duct tape. That'll fix it right up.
hey, Brian, I'm on my backup computer here. I'm running Windows 7 right now.
Ooh, now you're
Best
just
version of
bragging.
Windows.
Episode 20. Absolutely. Alan Murphy's with us. Merry Christmas, Alan.
Oh, happy Festivus, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hopefully I'll survive to it.
Yeah,
today.
Likewise. We got a guy who's filled with holiday cheer, 365 degrees, 365 days a year. We're talking about none other than Ron Delvaux. He is a happy guy.
I'm doing fine.
Sounds great, Ron. Perfect.
I heard Cruller and Tim Bitts. Okay. We got a guy responsible for our Christmas demo. He likes to smoke skinny cigarettes, and we've already found out there's nothing funny going on in those cigarettes. Merry Christmas to you, Simon Jonason. How are you?
Merry Christmas to you guys, and thank you very much. And those are actually Pall Mall. Okay, they're Pall Mall.
Pall Mall.
Brought to you by our
Pall Mall.
sponsor.
That's right.
Unfiltered. Out with extra tar.
Unfiltered.
4 to 5 doctors recommend.
Merry Christmas, Simon. We got Brian. We got Ken. Paul T. Barton is here. Merry Christmas, Paul. He's mute, but hello, Paul. From down under, the thunder, Nicholas Marentes. Good day, Nick.
I just woke up. Did I miss anything?
No, it's been smooth sailing.
Yeah, absolutely.
No issues at all.
And last, but certainly not least, he's probably excited to be here. David Ladd, are you excited to be here, David?
Oh, why, yes, I am, Stevie. This is going to be a great train wreck today. We might have to see if there's any arms laying along the sides of the tracks today.
Oh, my goodness.
Are we ready for the show to go
Oh, my
forward?
goodness.
David Ladd, your decapitations.
Who says video games make you violent?
No,
David, I
no.
didn't say you needed decapitations. I said you needed to drink decaffeinated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it now. All right, let's move on.
No use using your head over this. Come on, let's go.
Merry Christmas, Paul T. Barton. Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
We see you. So we have another extreme mediocre show in store for today, boys and girls. Before we get into Nick Marota's other favorite part of the show, where we get to talk about the game on results and the
I'm
high
awake.
score challenge with Nick Marota,
I'm awake.
perhaps we'll do a real ad-lib, impromptu, unscripted, unplanned, unsupervised discussion about holiday memories, past, present, future, CoCo memories, just family time with the holiday. Anyone else talk about something positive other than this show?
Oh, I could bring up something very positive other than this show.
Ooh,
Yes. And it's not about Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
No,
my goodness.
Actually, true story. Of course, Christmas 1984. Well, it was a gift. It wasn't just for me. It wasn't just for my brother. It was for the whole family. And it was this exact CoCo 2 box here. If I can hold it in frame, I still have my original CoCo. Rescued it from my parents' garage here a few years ago. Still have the box. It even has a shipping label to the Radio Shack store when it was upgraded to 64K, because we started out with 16K color basic, a CCR 81, a set of the Black Beauty joysticks, color script set, and bust out.
Does your brother know that?
He does. He was there.
No, that you have it now, probably. I guess.
Yeah, that you have
Oh
it
yes,
now.
he knows I have it. Yes.
I bet you were just excited coming home after school and pulling out that color script set.
Oh yes, that was the best.
Does he have visiting rights?
He has a nice shiny redone CoCo 3 that I gave him here a couple years ago. So
Oh, how generous.
he's okay. Yeah.
I am so jealous of you guys who weren't idiots like me getting rid of your original equipment.
Oh yes, I forgot that he mentioned we also had the TP10 printer. What a wonderful printer. And I loaned it to someone and never got it back. And what did I do here recently? I went on eBay and bid on 2, and I only needed 1, and now I have 2, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I just kind of take them to the shows and stick them to the MC10 and just kind of go, well, here you go.
Can it actually print on TP?
Only if it has to be the thermal ply, not the double ply.
Thermal ply.
Yeah, thermal ply.
TP for my bunghole. Bungholio.
Yeah.
Great bungholio.
Yes. Way to class up the show there, Nick Marota.
Yeah.
Joined by Brett Gordon, too. Hey, Brett. Brett's muted. Hopefully you can hear us.
Brett, oh, I thought it smelled like Rack's roast beef in here. For both people who get that joke.
Merry Christmas, Brett.
Brett's here. Yay.
Oh, so Jason's CoCo memory was getting his CoCo 2, the family CoCo. Was it a real family pleaser?
It was. We weren't having a blast with the new Matt Tudor, and my dad didn't have a shortwave either, so I don't know. But that was our first computer. Yeah.
Oh, that's not where you got your love of ham radio from? It wasn't from your dad?
No, it was from my dad did electronics. He did a lot of correspondence courses. He built a television set, a Heathkit floor console television set, and between all the other stuff he did with electronics, that's what got me interested in electronics. And then being interested in electronics, going to my local library, and I was finding books on electronics and stuff, and I found a American Radio Relay League handbook, and that's when I started reading about ham radio, and then it went on from there. But it started out with a love of electronics, started by my father, with all his electronics stuff that he did when I was younger.
Oh, neat.
Sounds a bit like my story, actually, because I think that was a year before you. It's back in '85, and I've still got that CoCo laying on the floor. It's a CoCo 2, which was a CoCo Korean model with a T1 VDG in it.
Nice.
16K color basic, which I extended to extended color basic, put 64K in it, and I've still got that laying beside me. And my dad bought it for me as a Christmas present back in '84 or '85. So yeah, I've still got that machine, and that is dear to my heart.
That's awesome. And thanks for that demo, Simon. Really good stuff. Really brought some holiday cheer.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I actually done that
Definitely.
about 3 or 4 years ago, you know, but it's not been spread about that much. And I had a problem with, I think with Brian, who was it? Brian, someone or other, does OS9 stuff. He couldn't get it to run on his 86 Gimme.
Interesting.
And that was like, okay, fine. Let's try and fix it. So I've been trying to fix it for a couple of days. I don't know if his machine is a bit special, a bit wonky, whatever, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, it was nice. And was this an updated soundtrack? Because I don't remember there being this much Christmas medley in the first version. I thought it was just one tune originally. Or
No, it's the same version as back in the day.
Okay.
Probably didn't listen to it as much, but
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
No, I thought the same thing because I recognized the demo and I recognized the first song with some of the stuff at the end.
I didn't remember, it being like a whole medley of songs, but it was great. It was really good. I really enjoyed that. So thank you.
It's only 2 voices of inherent sawtooth.
That's awesome. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Simon. Who else has Christmas memories or Christmas joy, past, present, future? Could be CoCo related, could be not CoCo related. I don't know. Anyone? Brian Weasler.
For me, I wanted to get a color computer, and my mom knew about it, but she didn't know about computers, and she wanted to surprise me. So when I unboxed my hopeful CoCo 2, it was a Texas Instrument. And so I gave it a whirl and tried playing with it, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I couldn't understand it. And so we boxed it up, took it back to the store, and went and got my CoCo 2. So
wow,
there,
that's devotion returning. Those
Stories
TIs,
of corrected CoCo Christmas.
Yes,
there you go.
Those things were not cheap when they came out. That TI was like $500 or something. It was pretty pricey.
By the end, it was quite cheap, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my story.
Awesome.
My story is when I was a kid, there wasn't computers. So the next best thing, and far as I knew, was a telescope. And I got a telescope when I was young. And then on a future Christmas, I got a larger telescope. And my parents somehow knew to get maps of the sky so that I'd be able to find stuff later on, which really helped. And so I'm indebted to my parents for getting me into astronomy. And
that's awesome.
Been there since. It's fun.
That's awesome.
And now having computers, heck, the CoCo has a planet chart thing in Curtis's EOU programs in there. And the PC has modern day, planetariums and stuff with all kinds of interesting things in there. And
we have a smart aleck comment in the live chat, Ron, from Ken
What?
Reichert. He goes, I thought Ron would get an abacus.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it.
My first Christmas, I got a stone tablet and a chisel, and I was happy, damn it.
I was going to ask about the sundial he got for Christmas.
I did use a slide rule.
A slide rule. You can't go wrong with that, man.
Yep. The elemental one.
Yeah, it was white and it came in a little case.
Ron, was your first car one of those Flintstone cars?
No.
Couldn't wait for math being
There are a lot of us here who are far from spring chickens. All right, so
yes,
he's got one.
Awesome.
Alan Murphy's got one.
Oh, he's got a slide rule. All right, you got a pocket protector to go with that?
I think I might have a slide whistle.
I got a pile of slide rules.
Slide whistle. Oh dear God, this thing is going off the rails. Mark Bosley, our backup streamer and engineer. Any holiday cheer and memories and anything going on here last year, next year? You have no fond holiday memories of your entire life.
Oh, there was that one time where you had to run the stream because the internet was all wonky, and we were doing a Christmas show the day after Christmas,
and everything still went wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you ever get a Red Ryder BB gun, anything like that? No. All right. Well, this segment's
Oh, yeah.
going south fast. And before I waste any time, does anybody have anything else they'd like to say that's in the theme of holidays and happiness?
Oh,
Move
yes.
on.
Happiness and holidays. Oh, yeah. Back when, strangely enough, 1984, it seems to be a theme. Yeah, my parents got me the fully upgraded CoCo 2 64K of RAM. And of course, I think 2 of the Sesame Street cassette games and the CCR82 cassette deck. And I played the crap out of Taxi. I did not care for Big Bird Special Delivery. That was kind of a letdown. But, you know, it is what it is.
All right, so in this segment on David Ladd reviews the Big Birds thing, yes.
Oh, that's our game next week. Oh, you ruined it.
I thought it was Color Script Set.
Oh my goodness!
I do have one quick one. 1981 Christmas. So I just bought my CoCo 1 4K. What was it? Early fall, so probably about September. And my mom and dad, as a bit of a prank, because they knew I wanted computer stuff, whatever it was, games, peripherals, whatever. So in the Christmas tree, they had a fairly, decent sized box. And when they opened it up, the wrapping paper, it was a shoe box. I figured, oh, great, they bought me shoes. Yay-hoo. And then when I open up the box, there's a couple of flat layouts, pairs of socks, and socks and shoes both. And you lift up the socks, and there's 2 Black Beauty joysticks in there. So they fooled me.
Oh, that was sneaky.
That was actually a good one.
I got a rock.
Sneaky. I got a rock. Yeah. I remember doing a Christmas demo on my CoCo. I did the graphics part where I did a Christmas tree out of like semi-graphics blocks, real simple stuff. And then my dad, who is musically inclined, he helped me interpret, because I had regular basic. I didn't have extended basic, so I couldn't use the play command. So we had to use the sound command. And we had individual sounds for every single notes. And we played Jingle Bells or whatever. It was a Christmas song. And I didn't even know about 4 next loops at that point in time. So in order for it to play twice, we had to hand code in the sound this, comma this. And so we did the whole song twice, and it was just a spit ton of sound statements. But it was a thing where it had a semi-graphics Christmas tree with a big square yellow star on top of it. And it was green, and it had the trunk. Maybe we had presents. I don't remember. Maybe I had little decorations like little balls or lights on the tree or something, but it was a little homemade Christmas tree with homemade Christmas music that it was like a father-son project on the CoCo. In the early days of my CoCo, probably like 81-ish. Obviously don't have it anymore, but that is a Christmas memory and a CoCo Christmas memory. So there you go.
Yeah, I remember my friend who introduced me to the CoCo. The one originally I wanted to buy an MC10, and he talked me to get a CoCo instead. He wrote a program. He also used the sound statements. I don't remember why, because I'm sure he had extended basic. But he wrote me a little Christmas tree program with sound statements, and I thought I hadn't really programmed that much yet at my point. So I thought that was just like the coolest thing. Said my name, and I was in awe.
Awesome.
Because of course it had my name in it, and you know how I love my name. So
yeah, that tradition continues.
Yes, that's probably where it came from. I'm really not an egotistical guy.
Not at all. No.
Sure. But if I have to say it, then maybe I am.
Right. Yeah. I'm not a narcissist, but I play one on YouTube.
Exactly. Wow. I need to re-examine my life.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm going to get nostalgic to last week, where I was nostalgic about this past year, because this has been an incredible year, I think, for despite COVID in real life. I think the CoCo hobby it's been a good year for the CoCo this year. When I was just, and honestly, like the newsletter where we tried to encapsulate all that, I got a lot of very positive feedback on the newsletter. Everybody who's seen it, and most of this feedback came from the mailing list, which, you never hear anything positive on the mailing list, right? So the fact that there were like a half a dozen glowing reviews, like, man, this is great, and all these kind of things. So I know last week I was kind of waxing poetic about that, but it just everything kind of caught up at once, where we did the year-end review of of the newsletter. And in that, I was kind of looking at the year-end review of what we've done this year on CoCoTALK and what has been covered on CoCo Crew and the news and the year-end news summary. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened this year. And so there's, I think we have a lot to be positive for, a lot to be thankful for. The fact we get together every week and we're here and we're friends and we're trying to spread joy in our hobby all year long and all these things. So sometimes you got to find the good in the middle of the not so good. And I think we've managed to do this year with our hobbies and with our community. And so I'm thankful and grateful for that. And
that was without an in present, handshake, close to close CoCo Fest. We didn't even have one.
Yeah. And honestly, because when I was going through putting together the links and I looked again at that virtual CoCo Fest that we're doing, I sound like a narcissist, but that show came together. That show was and again, this is a biased statement, but what I feel to be a humbly true one. I think that virtual CoCo Fest was probably one of the highlights of the year for this entire year.
Awesome.
It was just a ton of stuff was done, and it just the perfect storm of all the planets aligning, and it just went off without a hitch, unlike today's show. So yeah, there's a lot of amazing things that have happened this year, and I'm looking forward to more. Right, so.
and it didn't feel like a 6-hour show either. I mean, it was the longest one we've ever done, but it was great.
Maybe we should have Lorbieski's dumpster fire on more often.
Rob Inman says Simon's camera needs a retro brighting. The lighting is a little yellow there. Is that what you're saying there?
Also, Stevie, going along with your comments on the feedback you got in the newsletter, EOU Beta 6 has only been out for a couple of days now, but we've had the same thing, a lot of really positive feedback. There's a few minor glitches or questions or something like that too, but it's amazing that we've had, some of the stuff that I basically added on as a hack job to get something done has actually become some of the most popular features and stuff like that. Like it's a lot of unexpectedness, kind of like the virtual CoCo Fest was, and the newsletter getting so much feedback positive from the CoCo list. So we had kind of the same experience.
It's awesome.
But it has been a great year for the CoCo. I mean, there's been a ton of new software. I mean, Nick Morendes has been programming up a storm. I think next year he's going for a 6-pack. He's going to try to get 6 games done in 1 year.
Crikey.
You're right.
And then the year after that, he'll go for 6 good ones. But
Septandy was a real boon for the CoCo this year.
Actually, that's another surprise.
Yeah.
Because Septandy, the previous year, we had a couple CoCo mentions. This year, it was like gangbusters.
Yeah, I think also Discord has also helped get the community together on the voice level of getting us discussing stuff that normally probably wouldn't happen in this unfortunate restricted time of separation.
We had a few great people join us from other CoCo related communities like Canadian Retro Things and Amigos Retro Gaming, AC's 8-Bit Zone, Buck Owens, and too many to mention.
8-Bits in the Basement. Yeah, there's a ton of them.
All the great people we picked up from different communities, partly because of Septandy, I believe, in some cases. Our community's been thriving this year.
Yeah, Discord was just like this show. It was an unexpected kind of runaway success. We started that Discord initially as an extension of the show where we could just chat during the week to stay in communication as from a kind of like planning for the show. And so it was kind of internalized, although it was never private or closed. It was just mostly us having places to talk about
another
the show.
forum.
Our own little forum, and it's continued to grow, and so at that point it's like, well, it's people are using it, people are on it, let's not restrict it, and it's just become its own thing. I don't have time to digest 1/10 of what's going on in that Discord. There's so many different channels and so many different topics. There's something for everybody. There's a lot of stuff for nobody, so
much like this show.
The Discord has been a great tool. Matter of fact, I'm way behind on doing the weekly Who Was New to Discord this week. So I did record one this morning. Hopefully, Mark, you have that one queued up. But a lot of people have been coming, and some of the people who come in say, yeah, I was actually doing a search for something, and I came across CoCoTALK, and I came across Discord. So people are finding us and just in there searching for the CoCo, and it's become a great resource to the community. And so again, there's just things that are happening that were unexpected, but we all win. Everybody benefits from that by just having these things out there. Discord, another cool tool that we continue to hopefully better utilize. Cool stuff.
Well, Ken Waters, what does CRT mean?
Canadian Retro Things.
Oh,
he's a world famous YouTube personality, superstar. So yeah.
I was
for
hoping it
people that
wasn't
don't know my
CoCo retread.
my
or
real
something.
name.
Secondhand tire shop. What's going on? Anybody else have any stories they want to share? Holiday cheer, or maybe we move on and we'll.
Well, Ken was going to say something.
Are we going to say something, Ken?
Not really.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Anything you're cheerful for this year?
Well, I guess for CoCo memories, I don't know, about 83 or 84 in there. I was always hanging out at Radio Shack, and I really wanted an RC car, and my parents got me a computer instead.
Did they at least get you a car racing game with it or something? Then
No, they didn't.
That reminds me
of the computer.
The year I was saving money to get my CoCo, because I had to get a part-time job, and it just to sign of the times back in 1981. Minimum wage was $3.35 an hour.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So if you worked part-time and you worked 4 hours after school or something, you made like $12 a day. And so just imagine, how many $12 per day things you had to do to add up to buy your $500, $600 CoCo. It took a while, but I'm saving my money. And at the time, the other big thing that all the cool kids were doing besides computers was mopeds. So all the cool kids on the block had a moped. And so when you're not even driving age, that was a way to become empowered and get around and hang out, was to get on your moped and drive around and go to school and hang out with your buddies, because you didn't need a driver's license to ride this thing. So I could have gotten a moped, and I don't know that I would be the person I am today had I gotten a moped instead of a CoCo. I don't think we'd be hosting Moped Talk right now.
Probably not. Actually, I had a similar story for saving up for my first CoCo too. But mine took 2 years with a paper route, because when I got into the computers at school, we had the pet at first. I thought, I want to buy a pet. So I started saving up money from the paper route. And then the Apple II came to school the next year, 1980, and oh, color. Oh, wow, this is awesome. And then I saw the price, and oh, geez, I really got to start delivering papers now. And then, another year later, I discovered the CoCo and Radio Shack and said, hey, this is like a quarter of the price or a third of the price of the Apple, and it's got a better basic and stuff. So that's what I ended up buying. It was just kind of, it was lucky that it took me 2 years to save up enough to get a CoCo. Otherwise, I probably would have got a pet or an Apple II.
Cool.
No offense, Mark.
Yeah. Speaking of Discord, before we go to the next break, Mark Bosley, you want to run that new to Discord spot? If nobody else has any more Christmas cheer to share, then we'll maybe run the new to Discord spot and then get into the game on stuff.
Hey, Curtis.
Yep.
I totally understand, because like my first Apple II, I was a half owner. My friend was the other half owner.
Geez.
You were on a timeshare.
Yes, exactly. It's the only way to swing the Apple was to own part of it.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Who's New to Discord This Week? Please welcome Allison. She's been into the CoCo since 1980 and enjoys fixing, upgrading, and basic programming. Glendo72 claims to have one of the largest collections pertaining to the CoCo and MC10. Recycle Mikey hadn't touched a CoCo since 83, but recently got a CoCo 1. Comrade Todd found us by searching for fixing his keyboard ribbon. Mad Builder Tex is a TRS-80 fan from back into the 80s. He's getting back into the hobby and owns several vintage systems. Fade got a CoCo 2 as a kid and is getting back into the 6809. D-Baser started with the ZX81, came across CoCoTALK, got the gears turning, and is looking to learn more. Raven Wolf had a CoCo 35 years ago, recently got a CoCo 2 along with a souped up CoCo 3, which was upgraded to the 6309 and 2 megabytes. Trey Tome learned to program on the CoCo 3, is setting up a CoCo Pi, and is looking to learn more. SC CoCo 1 had a CoCo since 85, is getting back into hardware, and is using the SDC and Pi DriveWire. Tom Heron started with the ZX80 in 81, then got into CoCos. He attended CoCo Fest in 2018 and 2019. Amiga Forever is a fan of retro emulation and retro gaming. Alpha 66 a fan of the 6809. Saint Cube is a Spanish retro enthusiast using the CoCo Pi mainly for the Dragon emulation. Slore is into a variety of retro systems and spent a good time with the MC10. And as always, a special thank to Voice on Tech, our CoCoTALK patrons, David Ladd, Jim Rye, Paul Fiscarelli, Rob Inman, and Terry Steggy for boosting the Discord server. Join us on Discord at discord.cocotalk.live. See y'all on Discord. And now,
That's a talent in our,
Jeez, we got 50
CoCo
people on
Thoughts
YouTube.
by Samuel Gimes.
Brewmaster, he's the man who serves way too much. A lot too much. Such a brewmaster beckons you to enter his place of gin, and you go in. Golden ale he will pour in your glass.
Yeah,
when he slings it, don't let the mug pass. You turn your back and the new drink missed you. You have caused a death for Mr. Brewmaster. Customer, take heed of his ale of gold. His beer's ice cold. Golden ale he will pour in your mug, but you act like you are a common thug. Get to the bars and cause a big stir. It's another death for Mr. Brewmaster. Customer, beware of his ale of gold. His beer's ice cold.
Where's the part where they get the woman gets painted gold?
His beer's always cold. Super cold. Always cold. He loves it cold. Mighty cold. It's served cold.
High Score Challenge.
All right, and welcome to another week of results. This week we played Brewmaster with 19 scores submitted. Adam Tandy Dragon Guy, 675. Mr. Dave, 725. David Ladd, 2,025.
Glad he's able to.
Jim Wright, 2,625. Marcy,
Hey, mention in chat why you have to go. I
3,500.
won't repeat that on there.
Cat Lord, 4,100. Nathan, 4,950. 8 Bits in the Basement, 8,425. Me, 13,375. Tasman, 13,525. Canadian Retro Things, 13,550. Paul Shoemaker, 29,875. David Craker, 37,575. Just Mike, 57,600. Sloopy, 65,825. AC's 8-Bit Zone, 85,150. Redbeard, 189,875. Coco Man, 294,800. And the number one score this week belongs to Buck Owens. Welcome back. 309,225. Excellent score.
Coco Man.
And thank you for all the great submissions this week.
For CoCoTALK salutes Buck Owens.
All right. All right. So yeah,
Did we ever leave?
Nice to see Buck Owens back. Nice to see Buck Owens back on top there.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I just didn't have any more time to do it again. So
now, was there a minus sign missing from your score, CoCo Man? Because you usually
no,
go
it was
for the
actually
lowest.
it was actually a positive whole number. It was
Oh,
that was
wow.
a real score. It was just very time consuming with the holiday. I did that, and then I saw Buck Owens, and I just didn't have time to redo it. But I could have beat him, but I just didn't have the time.
Well, I would have been happy to have you win. I'm just. All right. So, can you guys see my screen should be coming up?
Slowly.
Wait
This
for
is
it.
starting. There we go.
There it is.
Yep.
All right. So I couldn't find much information on this game. It wasn't in the Rainbow Index anyway. So I don't have any scores or reviews to report.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. So anyway, this is the gameplay video submitted by Canadian Retro Things, who again he covered the CoCoTALK game on his channel. So thank you, Canadian Retro Things, as usual, for your video playthroughs.
You need to update your VCC to get the better colors, man.
Yep.
So this was a request. It turns out Grant Leedy had requested this game among there may have been others. I apologize.
Oh, you know why? Because he's thinking of the root beer version of this game, because he did spill root beer in Richard Orbieski's truck.
That's right.
Yeah, so
that's the bonus level. You have to spill root beer in a minivan. So this was a game. So you may have heard us talking a little bit over this was a game obviously based on Tapper, and then later Root Beer Tapper, because apparently parents did not like the beer in the games back then.
Or the big Budweiser ad.
And the Budweiser ad and the dancing girls, which this version doesn't have. And also in the arcade, there were more levels than just the bar. You ended up the second round, you were an outdoor.
Or like a ballpark area or something.
But this version only has the bars. So yeah, it's a good game. There were things that were definitely annoying about it. The fact you could lose lives in bonus level was particularly weird. And I don't know the rhyme or reason for that. I don't know if it was just if you didn't pass the bonus level, and the bonus level is where cans are shaking. You got to pick the one that's not. So I don't know if you lost a life only if you didn't guess the right one, or if you always lost a life. But that was definitely off-putting. So for the purposes of our score challenge, the best strategy was actually to stay on the lower level and just keep serving beer, because you wouldn't lose a life in the bonus level, and you could milk pretty much as long as you wanted. So I believe some people did use that strategy. But yeah, so I enjoyed the game. No, it's good in short periods of time because it gets a little monotonous. But I thought overall, as far as a conversion is concerned, I thought this was a really good conversion of the game with the limits that I mentioned. So anybody else have any comments on the game?
I wanted to comment on the bonus round part there. That's actually based on the Mackenzie Brothers Christmas album Beer Hunter game. if you guys are
Beer
familiar
Hunter.
with that. So.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't want to play Nightmare Highway after this.
Oh, that's right.
After a lot of drinking, get on the Nightmare Highway, huh?
DWI, UI, whatever.
Which of those three coaches is the real one? I don't know where to steer.
Yeah, I like how when he switches lanes, you see the little swirling effect of where he was, like the little cartoon animation of the little air whip going on there.
And as I played, I began to realize when you want to send, like, you got to be careful when the people are facing the back. You can't send a beer down; they won't grab it. And there were some that you want to send two down because they're going to grab one, they're going to slide down the bar, and then be ready for another one. So you get to know which ones you have to send two at a time to, and which ones you only want to send one to. Yeah, like that lady in the third bar is a two-fister.
Like most of the CoCoTALK panel at CoCo Fest.
Good,
drinkers.
Definitely a good CoCo clone. To me, I remember playing this one back in the day, and it had what I was looking for in a game, a decent recreation of an arcade experience. And if it had, 4-voice music at any point in time, that was always a bonus. So games that had good graphics, decent gameplay, and music was always a nice trifecta in a CoCo title. And this one had all of those things. So I
don't know if anybody in the panel played. Did anybody recognize the songs that were used in this game?
Oh yeah, you got 99 bottles of beer on the
Yeah,
wall.
Susanna was title music, right?
And what about when you died?
Oh, Susanna, you had that.
And when you died?
Oh, I think that was the CoCoTALK theme song.
No, how dry I
am. Yes, yes. How dry.
So the music was clever.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they should have. We should update this with the theme to Cheers when you're playing this game now. Right?
See, that's what I thought Gimes was going to do, but I can never predict where he's going to go.
You can't predict Gimes. I don't think Gimes can predict what Gimes is going to do.
No,
but,
he's
and Nick
predictably
Marotta was
unpredictable.
Nick Marotta, was this one of the Tom Mix Novasoft subsidiary games, the cheaper ones?
No, was
it
it
a full-blown?
Spectralist? I can't remember who it was now.
I know it's Tom Mix. I just can't remember if it's
remember.
their Novasoft derivative, because that was the guys that had
Oh,
that
you
one
might be
subdivision
right.
that sold games $5 to $10 cheaper than the regular ones like Donkey King and stuff. So I think this actually was a bit of a bargain game at the time too, which is nice.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the next game that I'll be announcing soon. Yeah, no, this one is, I believe, a Novasoft. Yeah.
See, they has bees on there for Beer Hunter, because that's what you're playing.
Right. So Karen is asking, can he take a drink every time he hears a Canadian accent? That's almost like the Drive-Wire drinking game. But
It's got to be Molson.
Go ahead, eh?
It's got to be Molson, no.
Sure doesn't beef or brew.
Well, this one also then later appeared on T&D software when they started re-releasing all the Tom Mix stuff.
Yeah.
So
David Craker says, I know I used to have this game, but couldn't find it on my old 5 1/4 inch discs. Pretty sure my parents made me delete it. Because this is going to lead to drinking, right? Like this is a
it worked in my
gateway
case,
game.
so maybe.
Yeah.
Dang kids.
You're Canadian though, Curtis.
I'm glad my parents never saw my copy of Weed Master.
You told them it was about lawn care.
Yes.
So Aaron from Amigos Retro Gaming said it was a really solid CoCo game. Great clone. I agree. It is a really good clone. It would have been nice if they could have done the different scenery, but
yeah, because I don't even remember seeing the outdoor segments in the real arcade, but I did have a flashback to seeing it in the ColecoVision version. I think the ColecoVision version of this had the outdoor, like where you're.
I seem to remember they're like umbrellas,
or something like that. Yeah,
there were umbrellas and you were and I
arcade.
believe you were serving from little carts.
Yeah.
Hey, did any of you guys sniff any airplane glue, man?
Looks like you picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah.
Nick Marotta, was this game 32K required or 16K required? Do you know?
Oh, I can't remember.
I'm just wondering maybe if he was trying to keep it down to a lower minimum RAM size so that more people could buy it and play it. That maybe that's why he didn't do the full, the extra levels and stuff.
There's a website, L. Curtis Boyle. He might have information on.
I don't want to talk to that loser.
I just threw 3 drinks at the fat lady down there. She just got her set. Oh, and then one broke. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Bummer.
Did
She looked like she could have pounded down a third one. She had.
Oh yeah, she's good for. She's good for a few.
You said Nick, you didn't find any rainbow scoreboard for this one, or?
Well, I didn't find it in the searchable index.
Okay.
Why? Did you find one?
I found one, but there's just one, and this is later on. It's the January 1989 edition, and it's just one score of 51,925. Wendy Straub from Moundsville, West Virginia. That's the only one listed in that issue.
Well, that's definitely doable because our top score beat that.
Wendy, if you're still out there, just jump on the call real quick. We'd love to hear from you.
And do you have a drinking problem today?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Moundsville, West Virginia is only about an hour or so away from here. I've been there to Moundsville, West Virginia. They have a Big Lots and a Walmart, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and one of those McDonald's. If you've
Is
heard
that
of
in the
those.
tour guide when you get those little pamphlets that make sure you stop by the Big Lots and the Walmart?
Well, and actually in Moundsville, there's also there's a penitentiary, an old penitentiary that they give tours, and there's a Native American mound, hence the name of the town, Moundsville.
Oh, Aaron is saying that it's a football stadium.
A football stadium.
Level. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a blimp.
Yeah, on the arcade. Yeah, absolutely. Because I actually did get to that. I think. At the arcade, either recently here, whether we were at the Galloping Ghost or if it was the arcade here in the local area that has all those old games.
I wonder if you can find this game for your Adam, CoCo Man.
Oh, if there's a ColecoVision game, my Adam will play ColecoVision cartridges. So
absolutely,
I'll have to look for that.
Because I think the ColecoVision version was really good. I think it was more complete.
I'll have to be on the lookout for that one. I don't think I saw that at the little used video game store last time I was there. I'll have to.
You need to get the Atari Max cart where you can run it all off of SD, man.
That would be
one and done.
They have one for the Coleco.
Oh yeah, it's Atari Max cartridge. What it's called.
Oh, yep. like the Harmony. It's similar to the Harmony cart. Yeah,
it's like a Harmony for that. Yeah.
Yeah, John's mentioning John from the Amigos. There's mentioning there's a third era in the arcade version of Punk Bar.
Oh,
I never made it that far.
No, I did not know that.
Punk.
Yeah, Punk. So what you have to ask yourself is, do you feel lucky? Or do you? Punk.
I'm assuming the arcade version didn't have that penalizing for the bonus level. That might.
What happened? What was the part of?
You lose a beer.
I believe that was the Canadian pronunciation of penalizing.
Penal, whatever. Penal.
That's not the penal code. The penalizing. Well, also I noticed if you went into the bonus round with more than 4 lives, you would go down to 4 lives automatically.
Yeah. Was it only when you had 4?
Assumed, huh?
I would have like 6. I would go in and I would get knocked down to 4. It's like so. If that was the case, I would make sure I'd go die and make sure I only had 4 or 5 lives left before I went into the bonus round.
For the principle, but so you didn't lose one if you had less than 4. I remember I had no lives.
Them. Yeah, you would lose them, but you wouldn't. Yeah, it was crazy.
Because I actually died on the bonus level because I didn't guess properly, and I only had 1 life left when I went in, and I died, and I was like, "What?
Lose a life if you guessed the wrong can?"
I don't know what what the rhyme or reason is.
Yeah, that makes no sense to lose a life in a bonus
on a bonus round. Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
So yeah, that was I don't remember if doing that back a day, but
there was a patch for this too, wasn't there? And that patch didn't patch that, huh?
There was an RGB patch.
Oh yeah, that's right. Chet had not Chet. CoCo Man.
I found an old RGB patch for it in BASIC, and
yeah.
So just a palette hack. It wasn't like
it was some ML. No, I didn't write it. It was an adapted patch. It was in, I think, February '88 Rainbow. It was for a bunch of things, and I just went ahead and made it just load, so it would just load that program automatically. But
Robin,
slight palette change, make it look
Robin is mentioning that Buck Owens had some criticisms of the game in Discord. So I don't know.
Oh yes, he heard some major grievances.
Okay,
he didn't like. Yeah, he didn't like the fact you could milk on the early levels, but I mean there are other games where you can do that too.
Did he find grievances channel? Because I think we have a channel for grievances.
Well, the 23rd.
Don't give him any ideas.
The 23rd was Festivus, and that was the grievances. Oh yeah, I found some more high scores.
Now, if he was serving eggnog, as much as I like eggnog, it's pretty heavy, so I don't think anybody could be down in like 3 whole mugs of eggnog.
No, it's root beer tapper.
It's
tires, or I don't know what kind of root beer you guys have down there. A&W.
A&W, W and W,
Okay.
WWW.
And the Amigos are saying that the Atari 8-bit version of Tapper is quite good and has adjustable difficulty, which is nice. Yes, absolutely. And by the way, I got you guys' names right on the Patreon intro. So hopefully, I don't know if you guys caught that, but I finally got that fixed.
About time you get it right, Stevie.
No, I know. Listen, it's Christmas.
just give him a year. He'll get it right eventually.
It was a Christmas miracle. Yeah, good game.
Yeah.
Good game. I didn't play it this week, but I like this game.
Yeah, I found some more. I found some more high scores from what was this, November?
Are you bucking for my job?
No, I'm not bucking for your job. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
he's just doing it properly. That's
I'm just
all.
doing your job for you, Nico.
No, I'm just teasing you, CoCo Man. Thank you.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time here. This is from the November 1985. So I went back a little further, and the high score was 279,600.
Wow!
From Alan Drazen, it looks like, Longwood, Florida. And
wow!
See, I could believe that, because if you can milk, I mean, I imagine the sky's the limit. You can milk this first level as long as you want. So
it's just a matter of how much time, and you can pause it, but after a while, it just. Eventually, I did make my way up into the higher levels, and then I was just done. It was just like done, over.
Actually, Curtis, I had a question for you. In Discord, you said it'd be boring milking it. Was that your opinion of the whole game, or just milking the first level?
No, just any game that you just sit there and milk for points and it takes forever and you're not progressing levels. To me, it gets boring after a while. Like, that's not the way I play games.
I wasn't sure if this was just not your type of game.
What about the game that's called milking? That the object of the game is to milk. Is that not
to milk cows?
Yeah.
That should be written.
Yeah.
Nick Moranti, I don't know if his 2021 game development schedule is full yet, but we need a cow milking game.
Yeah, it's called
Hopefully the game-
Milking SG. So it'll be a nice
Hopefully the game is more fun than milking an actual cow.
Yes.
I've done that only once at a state fair, and I was okay. I've done it. I'm done. This is awful.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Just take pipes and make them udders, and you have to get the udders arranged where it actually flows the milk into the bucket.
My gosh.
If you try to milk a real cow in the wild, you have to worry about them getting ticked off and kicking you. So that actually is a bit of a challenge. So
Or stepping on your foot.
Yep.
I've had that happen to me.
Are beer nuts different than regular nuts?
Well, you know the difference. Oh, I won't say this joke on here.
Oh, come on.
Next.
Okay, the difference between beer nuts and deer nuts.
Okay.
Beer nuts are 3 for $1, and deer nuts are under $1.
Oh.
Ba-dum-bum.
All right,
That was just really hanging under the tree.
Oh yeah.
Are we ready to move on?
Yes. What's the next game?
So anybody have any tips?
Next game is pull my finger.
Well, if you're going for score, you milk the first level. Otherwise, you're just know the characters you have to send to.
And when you talk about milking, you're talking about just letting them keep coming out.
Yeah. Because
So
they'll keep coming as long as you don't clear the level. Like as long as you
Okay.
let,
As long as you keep at least one person at a bar.
Well, after a while, they'll clear off and they won't come back after so long. So,
you should be able to do it for a while though.
yeah, it's for a
Sometimes you
while.
want to get off the level and they just keep coming and coming and coming. And it gets frustrating
Yeah.
because you get one person coming on that's looking at the back wall. You got to wait for them.
Here's a hypothetical question. Let's just say, if this was like make a wish and you could wish for something and it'd be granted, would anybody want to see a CoCo 3 version of this with more colors and everything else?
Yeah, and all the and the levels that are missing. Yeah, that'd
All
be
the
awesome.
levels. Yeah, Nick Moranti's get on that.
You can make it Vegemite.
Vegemite tapper.
You can put a big Foster's logo in the background.
Oh, Foster's.
Oh
yeah.
There you go.
How to speak Australian.
Small can.
Small can of Foster's. They have those?
Yeah. It's only like 98 ounces, right? So.
Yeah, John mentions, he said you can milk points forever on any level of tapper. It's not advantageous in the arcade version though, because patrons at the higher levels are worth more points. So your score will go up slower if you milk it, though you can.
Oh, I'm sure the arcade owners would hate that too, because they wanted you out of there in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, they want you to put more quarters in it.
Good game though. Good game for the CoCo.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of my,
sorry, I didn't have time to play it either, but
yeah, one of my favorites from back in the day, even. So I enjoyed that.
I spent all month making fun of Nitrous 9. I had no time to actually.
And I'd say it's probably best played with a digital joystick.
Yes.
So if you have a digital joystick adapter, then that's the way to go.
Thanks again to Canadian Retro Things for your gameplay, and thanks to Grant and those others who mentioned this as a game. I like to take suggestions. In fact, this next game is also a suggestion.
Ooh,
I will mention too. Frodo made a video too, and I had a score, but he forgot to submit it till after the deadline. So.
Oh, did he submit the video? I might have missed that. If I did, I apologize.
It was part of one of his live streams. He's doing a lot of live streams on Twitch lately, and he's thrown in CoCo there a few times, which is cool.
Thank you, Frodo.
So hopefully this next game will entice Stevie Stroh, as this is actually his suggestion.
It wasn't really.
We'll have to see if anybody can recognize this game.
Color Scripts it too. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, this is the Star
Dave
Spores.
Shadoffs.
That's
Star
right.
Spores, yes.
Star Spores.
Okay.
So
yes.
we had this game. We had the actual author on this for this game on about 3 or 4 episodes ago, and he was a guest, and that's where I got introduced to this game, and I tried it out, and it's actually a great game.
It's very, very good.
One that escaped my my history.
Now he's quite active in Discord. Have you tried contacting him, Nick, to see if you can guest next week to discuss the game? Or
I have not. You can go ahead if you want to do that. You already have a communication with him going. Maybe.
Either that, or we're going to have Ron Delvo have lunch with him.
I thought you wanted control over your segment of the show, Nick. I don't understand.
This is our segment. This is we're co-hosts. That means I can slough off the stuff I'm not as good at. Anyway, I don't care. I don't mind.
Oh, the gameplay. Okay, gotcha.
Oh boy. What was your score again? You were too quote busy. Anyway, so this is our game for next
I didn't want to
week.
embarrass you guys with such a high score either. So
Basic shooter, but it's got it's cool because the enemies actually change as you shoot them. And and it's it's a great game. So hopefully you guys will take to this game and
we'll see if we can get Dave on next week to discuss it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Who else is hearing Brewmaster?
David is aware that this game will be game on game. Not this week. We had asked him when he was on if he and he was happy to have it as our game on challenge. That'd be really great if you want to take part. Maybe we should tell him and see if he wants to submit a score.
Is there an RGB patch for this?
Don't know.
Okay, I'll look into it. See if that program I used worked.
So thank you.
If you find the Spectral Associates RGB patch program, which I think is on the archive, it should handle this one, I think.
So thank you, Stevie. Thank you, everybody who submitted scores this week, and we'll see you next week.
So I'm almost obligated to play this game this week.
Well, I wasn't trying to guilt trip you, but yes.
Well, you need to. Yes, that's about the only way to motivate me. Is
Stevie Stroh, participation required.
Mandatory.
This is gonna.
I think you even mentioned it last week.
This is going to be worth 75% of your final grade.
Oh, excellent!
I think you mentioned it to me off the air, like during the week again, that you wanted this game to be game of the week. So yeah, you definitely have to.
Okay.
Download the latest version from CompuServe.
And we'll get
way to put him on the spot.
Maybe after Game On News, before we go into news, we've been joined by Tom Heron. Hey Tom, Merry Christmas. And Tom, you're muted. But yeah,
hello.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for the link.
Yeah, good to see you. And I remember meeting Tom at CoCo Fest a couple of years ago. He was walking around with a notebook, taking notes on everything. He wanted to know everything about everything. I thought that was awesome.
Was it his uncle we touched at the CoCo Fest?
if I'm not mistaken, too, Tom, I think you're the one who donated the photograph of the pristine CM8 that Tim Linder used to create the bezel for MAME, too. I think you were the poster child for that. Yeah.
I've got a CoCo 3 and the CM8. It's up on the top of that shelf up there somewhere.
Well, that should be plugged in.
Yeah, I know. I got to get it set up. PC set up.
Yeah, well, welcome, and hopefully in a little bit, if you're going to be around, we can get back to you. We'll play This Is Your Life. We'll get to learn a little bit more about you, but we appreciate you being here today.
All right, thanks.
Excellent. So good game. We know what next week's game is. Now, do we have Game On News to discuss?
Yes, we do. Did you want to do that, or do you want a commercial break first? Because I don't think we have one yet.
No commercial break.
Nope, straight into it.
Oh, come on,
straight into the news. Well, Ron, go potty. We're talking about games. You're not interested in games.
Yeah,
go potty.
Yes. Come on.
Okay.
Hey, you guys seen that?
Yes, Cuthbert Dragon.
Okay, so Cuthbert Dragon, as usual, had a busy week. I think he had 18 gameplays this week. And he's got some with the actual original artwork again, as you can see on the thumbnails here. He's got like the Dark Pit and Let's Count and Hide and Seek, which are educational games, Arcadia, which are uniquely Dragon games. And then he also has some cross ports like Shark Treasure that was originally by Computerware, Ghost Attack, which is a version of Pack Attack, just renamed, I guess. I'm not quite sure why they did that. But one thing I found is that there's a couple of these games that are the platformers, and these are the cross-platform platformers from Europe and the UK, like Screaming Abdabs and stuff like that. He's actually quite good at these Airball's another one. Like, I've tried playing some of these games, and I can't get past like 2 or 3 screens, and he actually knows what he's doing. So his videos, even though they're 3 minutes long, he skips between levels, and you can actually see like how to properly do some of this stuff, which is kind of educational. So I might try to revisit some of these now that I'm kind of getting an idea for what he what you have to do. And he's got one or two that I had not seen before. Like Froglet is a Frogger clone, obviously, but it instead of jumping on logs and alligators, you're actually jumping on almost looks like warships from Battleship or something like that across the water. So, did you guys want to see one or two of these?
What is the Dark Pit?
Okay, let's do that one first. This is kind of a Dungeons and Dragons Gauntlet style thing. I think we've seen it before.
Okay.
It's like Shock Trooper.
Is he shooting?
You can shoot. You have to get the gun, and then you got different colored keys that open different colored locks, and a bunch of baddies and stuff and treasures and things too. So it's a pretty huge maze, a lot of different monsters. It was one of the few games that actually supported the Tandy electric book too.
The electric book?
I think, is that the proper name for it? I'm trying to remember. It's a fairly rare peripheral that Radio Shack. So it was usually used for educational stuff, but this game actually used it.
It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
If I remember, it plugged into the joystick port and it had pressable buttons inside the book pages.
Oh, like the electric comic book or whatever it's called. The electric
I've
coloring
seen those
book or
at
something.
CoCo Fest, yes.
Yeah.
So you need certain keys to open up certain padlocks. So
Yeah,
it's
like
got
yellow
that kind
keys
of-
open yellow padlocks and red
so it
keys
has
open
a little
red
bit of that
padlocks.
Time Bandit, Tutankhamun flavor to it, right?
Yeah.
Shock Trooper, Time Bandit, Tutankhamun.
And of course, you run out of power after a while too. So, but it's a pretty large maze. So I mean, there's a lot of gameplay, and you learn. You should do things in certain orders. To get through better. Like I said, he's actually really good at these games. He's playing on real hardware. Obviously, he's played them before back in the day, so he's able to show a lot of levels that I've never seen on some of these games. So.
Yeah, it's got a very AGD kind of ZX Spectrum vibe. But a lot of these games that just had the things that worked on a slow trajectory and went back and forth, and you kind of had to time your movement between those vertexes of their moving. So I look at the sad face made out of bricks. That's kind of cool.
I like that one. That one bullet keeps going too, and just mows
sound
them down.
effects are pretty cool. Simple, real simple beeps and boops, but they purpose of the.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little game. And then I'll just show you Airball, because that's a game that I know a few of us have tried playing it, and we just die all the time. At least I do. But he actually was quite good at this. This one was actually advertised for the CoCo and the
Man, they
Dragon.
got the dragon sounding really good these days, don't they?
Yeah, I think they borrowed MC10.
Yeah,
card
borrowed some
from
MC
Jim Gary.
Oh, this looks like Knight's Lore. This looks a lot like Knight's Lore, the isometricness of it. Oh my god, yeah.
I think it is basically the same engine, but like I said, I usually just jump around and die in here, but he's actually good enough. I didn't realize you had to pump your ball full of air. That's what that carrying pressure is.
Oh.
So you have to go back to that center point, hop on the top and recharge, but not too long or you blow up.
Oh wow. Do not over pump your ball. All right, the wizard.
Let that be a lesson for all.
Yeah, we got some voice music going on there. Oh, this is so totally Knight's Lore looking that it's like.
I'm not even sure which one came out first, because I'm pretty sure they share the same graphics engine.
Yeah, yeah. Brewmaster.
And you gotta jump
those
over
spikes.
Jump over the
those
spikes. Very important you don't pop your ball. Oh, I'm just going around the stuff. Oh, there's a death thing there.
Oh, there's lots of death in this game, believe me.
Yeah, he's very good at these things. Yeah.
That's definitely a nifty looking game.
Absolutely. And the is it just my imagination, or we seeing a little bit of the PAL artifacting and you get kind of like
a little bit of the PAL.
a little
You
bit
got
of
it, the purple
shading there to the which serves the game well, I feel.
You taking notes, Nico?
Yeah, Nick. We need this on our list.
It kind of reminds me of Marble Madness a little tiny bit, and so it's kind of like a cross between Marble Madness and Night Lore, Really cool though. I like it.
That's a good one.
Absolutely. That's a keeper.
What was another one that's a bit more unique that he can actually play properly?
The Dark Pit.
Screaming Abdabs. That was one I was going to show you guys.
We've seen Geiger Punk do that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. This one here though, he's actually good at it.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes Gaggerpunk's like, oh, I have.
He's
no
like
idea.
us, just has
Yeah.
no idea what he's doing. This is one that Frodo would play a lot too, I think.
Yeah.
It's a style game.
Yeah, I actually like that purple POW artifact look. It adds a nice dimension to an otherwise.
It's almost like adding a grayscale.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of.
was gonna say it seems to be used a lot for like shading.
Yeah.
Shadowing.
Brewmaster.
I still like the animations on this too, like the
Now,
spinning
is that
balls, the rotating
intentional?
screwdriver.
How it's breaking
Yes.
floor? Okay, that is a game mechanic. That's not a glitch or anything.
Yeah. Dissolving platforms that you have to do it right or you die.
Yeah. Look out for that Amiga ball. Oh, it doesn't come all the way back either.
No, you got to learn those patterns too. That makes
Yeah.
a big difference because you can pause and wait instead of
There's a
getting
key.
trounced on.
Yeah, I like the big font up top for the score and everything.
But really
Kinda-
nice animations. I think.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me too of like early Apple II style games too. It's just
Or even Model 1.
Yeah, like
Yep.
1-bit sound stuff.
Yep.
And, I like
jump
the
ahead to it.
skulls. The animation's really good on all the different characters. That kind of chomping skull is very cool looking.
Yeah, like he did smooth animations, not
Look
just
at
the like, two frames.
The TV's got like little antennae and its feet are moving back and forth. That's really cool.
Yeah, scissors that open and close.
Yeah, you got the crabs.
Kind of reminds me a bit of Cashman too, like with the moving platforms.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
true. Very true. Yeah. And so this one's called Screaming Abdabs. Huh? It's a cool name
Yeah,
too.
there's a few games of this ilk, I guess.
Yes.
And some of them are Spectrum ports. I know
Yeah.
Frodo's actually demoed a few of them, playing both the Spectrum version, CoCo versions back to back, or Dragon versions, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, a ton of screens, like a kind of a puzzly game where you have to kind of figure out the right order to do things, otherwise you'll
Yeah,
end up dying.
yeah.
And it's definitely not a quick, I'll take 5 minutes and try to learn it quick. It's not one
Yeah.
of those.
You're going to spend probably 5 days getting into the rhythm of it, dying frustratingly many times before you finally have some level of competency here. Now those things, oh, look at that. Look how cool that was, how he was walking through that thing as it's going up and down.
Yeah.
Man, that's clever.
Yeah, it's a good little game.
That is neat. Bravo, Screaming
Was there
Abdabs.
any others? I think most of these are CoCo ones as well. So we've probably seen. I guess I could show you Froglet, just show you how those graphics.
Okay,
are.
so we're getting some comparisons to Manic Miner on the ZX Spectrum
Yep.
too.
Yeah, it is in that same genre. There's three or
Yeah.
four games I've seen in the Dragon that kind of follow that pretty closely.
Cuthbert in the Cooler, is that the one where he's got to rescue the people from the jail or something?
Yeah. You got the
I've
three
seen
different
that one.
screens to go through. You're trying to escape guards and
Oh yeah, this is a neat looking Frogger game. So
and you notice
it-
like the water's in the middle. There's still
water,
more cars
yeah.
to go through, so it's a bit of a
Yeah.
different layout too.
Yeah, slightly different. And what does the frog itself look like?
That tiny little thing, it's up near the top half right now.
Oh, I see it. Okay, there it is. Yep.
Also, there's more frog receptacles, if that's what you call them.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
there's only 5 in the arcade version. There's 6 in this one.
Okay.
You notice the red and the blue? This is a P mode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming in super hot, Nick.
Yeah, I got to turn your mic down a bit there, Nick.
Hang on.
A little too
How's
much,
that?
a little too much Vegemite on the cord there. Yeah.
He's got PAL artifacting creating red and blue.
Yeah, yeah, like the top is not your normal orange. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because it normally
The
be
water?
cyan and magenta
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. actually.
PAL's making that.
That's
When-
cool.
When it comes to colors, PAL is our pal.
So this is the second game I've seen that uses PAL artifacting for extra colors.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Donut Dilemma?
Yeah.
That
I thought it
graphics
was the only
thing-
one, but there's another one.
Yeah, well, that particular mode needs all the help it can get.
Well, you now get 6 colors on the screen now.
Yeah, it's like it's an Apple II thing right there. Getting that.
And I assume that works on the other color set too, the green one.
No.
Oh, only on the white.
Yeah. It only works on this mode.
Interesting.
Well, it works on this mode best.
Oh, the pooey
Yeah.
and poo.
Yeah, it has. I think it has something to do with white.
Yeah.
white and dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any of the others you want to see there, Stevie?
Steve
before we go on?
Rasmussen is saying those single screen pixel perfect jump platforms seem to be a British thing. Remember that impossible Auric game you reviewed? on ARG. Impossible Auric. I don't remember that one, but yeah. What else we have? We've seen Screaming Abdabs. We've seen Cuthbert in the Cooler.
I think you guys have seen Arcadia before, haven't you?
Not sure. Fire it up. This one goes to 11. Damn, there's that awesome dragon music again.
Yep, the Jim Gary sound chip.
Oh, neat. That's cool. What are they, butterflies? Butterflies.
Not using that extra color on this one, I don't think, though.
No.
Fly away.
And the fact you can fly vertically is kind of unique. Not too many games did that at the time.
Butterfly. Interesting.
Can't remember if it gets a different
Honestly,
shape.
the white background and the white border are, to me, in this case, it would be better than doing this in green. You know, I never completely bought into the illusion of a space game with a green background. You know, so
yeah, white. At least you can say I'm in the antimatter universe or
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Like that,
So. Yeah, neat sound effects.
You can see I'm stuck in the 80s.
I don't remember if there's anything else really awesome to look at here. Oh, you can die. Nice intro screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some of the kind of grayscale artifacting there.
Great artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Very cool.
I don't know, is there any more you want to see there, Stevie, or on to the next?
No, I think we've seen enough. A great channel. Make sure you subscribe. This is Cuthbert Dragon, right?
Yep.
For all your dragon needs.
On to the next.
Ooh,
Paul Shoemaker has an updated video for his upcoming Semi-Graphics 12 game that now includes some additional storyline artwork, which are kind of like cutscene style things. We've seen the 3D walking through the maze type thing, and some of the pop-up monsters, so this adds a little bit more to it.
Yeah, this is a beauty. I love how you can see the arrow. Ooh, descent into shadow. Look at that face. That's like David Ladd when he hasn't had his Dr. Pepper.
Ooh.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm descending into Diet Dr. Pepper and water.
Wow, this is and his disclaimer was like, I know it's like Christmas time, but I'm gonna be posting some dark images here on this video. It's like,
and he succeeded.
Yes,
like
no,
Night
that's
of the
really
Walking
cool.
Dead or something.
Very cool. A theme to it. Very cool. Thank you,
And
Paul.
speaking of game development here, Trey Tomes has now got a graphics engine he's working on for a game he's doing, and he's got his first real test using some of the different things like animated water and stuff.
Yeah,
here.
I remember commenting on this. This looked really neat, and it's very fast how it's moving and stuff too.
There's an open door effect there, and
oh, I see. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on with that. I'm like, man, that one tile is kind of glitching when he gets over it. But yeah, that's what it's opening the door. Hello.
It's okay. Go back to sleep, Steven.
So I mean, it's fun watching. I mean, we know Nick makes games and Chet makes games and stuff here, but here we've got multiple other people coming in and doing little machine language based stuff. They're doing semi-graphics, they're doing CoCo 1 and 2 modes. We got some CoCo 3 stuff. I think this next year we might even have more new CoCo games than we did this past year, which was a banner year for the last decade.
Right.
So
Challenge accepted. Get out there and make your CoCo games, people.
now going back into old games, this is a YouTube channel that I had not seen too much before. I believe, Nick, this is the guy that actually bought some of your games in Japan. And he's been doing some CoCo videos now of individual games, and he does a bit more long play. So here's doing the 7-card stud, which is a rarer card, I guess, on the CoCo itself here. And he, kind of plays it for a little bit here. So I'll just fast forward a bit.
Oh, these are the other players.
Yeah, computer-based players. I mean, for a Racetrack card game, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it's fairly low RAM requirements because it's a lower res, but you actually, have the little sound effects for the cards and smooth moving cards and stuff. So it's actually not badly done. Anyway, it's poker, so
yeah, neat.
And then he also did one on Art Gallery.
Wow, look at that pixel.
I know this is just riveting video here, but
Now
I don't know how
this
many
is
people actually
now
play with
I'm
it.
wondering if anybody has tried using like the koala pad on Art Gallery.
I have not. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea. I know it had that keyboard overlay that only worked in the CoCo and keyboards that had what special keys do what. But this is one of the very early graphics editing programs we had.
Yeah. Change brush size. You can get different effects. You get the single pixel, the wider stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a bad little program, but
no. Oh, scrolling, shifting the screen around. I didn't know I could do all that. Oh, wow.
Paint.
Holy crap.
This is my new screensaver.
Now,
No,
did
I'm
this
just
support the joystick, or did you have to use the keyboard to move stuff around?
kidding. I think it supported joystick, didn't it?
Okay. I'm hoping
I
so.
did use it a little bit way back when it first came out, and I don't really remember. I haven't used it since.
If I'm not mistaken, is this the one of the ones that came with the bound book and everything too?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was a cartridge, but I believe you could save to tape, so you could save your artwork and load it back.
Yeah, you definitely could save to tape. I do remember doing
Yeah,
that.
because I might have this one in my collection of books. I might have the manual for this in the bound.
And you got a text mode editor too.
Wow. Mart Gallery. CoCo computer. Okay. Interesting. Oh, Robert Kilgus, huh?
Yep.
And there's the wow.
There's a glitch.
Yeah.
Is this color script set?
It's written by the same guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And same guy did Disc Edtasm. So he was hit and miss up. He's the same guy who did Skiing and Dino Wars too. So next up, we've got a YouTuber named Con Traveler. I'm not sure who that is, if it's somebody we know or not, or somebody new to the community. So he's doing a bit of a CoCo 1 and 2 animation experiment. He's doing for a Zelda style game. And he's got the animation for the fairy from Zelda 2 in low res.
Oh, neat. Is this in basic or assembly?
Yes, it is in basic.
Wow, so that's pretty quick. Wondering if they're just plotting and replotting to
I think it's
Yeah,
just get put
there's no double buffering or anything like that.
Yeah, so he's just wiping it out and then redrawing it basically.
Okay, that's neat.
But it's a nice little animation. It's a bit of the lower res. I think it's like P mode 1, maybe.
Yeah, that's like my Cosmic Alien screen.
Yeah, because you get a little bit of extra speed and save some RAM. So
yeah, bigger pixels, nice and 8-bit looking.
now we come to the Jim Gary portion of the show.
Jim Gary.
The first one is his version, a port of Dragon's Cube from the Dragon 32, which is kind of a Rubik's Cube thing in low res. And I think, if I remember correctly, this is one that Alan Huffman was watching, and he was having a bit of trouble understanding the controls.
Wow. You're saying this is low res? What part is low res? So far, I'm seeing very high res. Oh, look at that. That is actually really cool. That's got to see. This is actually better than color cubes because these are like real colors, not like checkerboard patterns. You know what I mean? Like the
Need
Radio
that PAL
Shack,
artifact.
yeah, that Radio Shack color cubes was an eyesore. Now this might be like, go into like an SG8 or something like that and just get a little bit bigger pixels. I know you can't do that in MC10 necessarily, but just for a CoCo project, it might be cool to take this 8-color mode and do something.
Yeah. Or with that 8K RAM up. Well, I know that still doesn't do semi-graphics, higher semi-graphics, so in mind.
Neat. That's actually quite good, honestly.
Yep. And then next, in part of the Christmas theme of things here, he did a couple of programs here. So the first one here is a random Christmas tree generator. So randomly generates the tree itself a little bit. And it's actually from an old Booker article called Techniques of Basic by John P. Grillo and J.D. Robertson. That was originally 1981. I don't know what platform the original was on. And there's his amazing sound chip.
Yeah,
again.
man. Want a tree? Oh, how about this one? Merry Xmas. Okay.
Yeah, and it just regenerates, random to place the bulbs and leaves, etc.
Okay. Interesting. Wasn't sure what to expect with the whole idea of a randomly generated tree, but now we know. A bit of a Charlie Brown tree, eh?
Procedurally generated Christmas trees.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
On the CoCo.
Oh, random tree. Oh, random tree.
And then his last one for the game section here is called, well, it's abbreviated AHHA, which stands for Another Haunted House Adventure.
That's just that easy to remember.
And this was originally by a guy named Jeff Wells. He didn't mention what it was ported from or what platform or when it was originally made, but, standard text adventure type thing. Of which the CoCo, I mean, that was a pretty popular game genre back in, especially in the early to mid 80s, before the graphic ones started taking over. Anyway,
Tattered scrap of towel. What now, boss?
See, this game was written with Nick Marotta in mind because it calls you boss.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking John Coffey from Green Mile.
Oh, Cuber. I know this.
Yeah, this is actually kind of fun because Marlon Lee, who's one of the very first YouTubers to do CoCo game videos, he kind of has been off for a couple of months now. I think about 4 months, actually, since the fall. And he just suddenly popped up and put this one up on Christmas Eve and mentioned he's going to try to sneak one more in before the end of the year.
Nice.
So it's his take on the Cuber game by Tom Mix.
Hey guys, thought maybe I'd put up a video, at least one or two.
I'll play a little bit of
before
it.
the end of the year.
Yeah.
I haven't put one up for a few months.
Not the
Today
worst
we
use
had
of this
Cuber,
palette set,
Tom Mix
the
software,
semi-graphics mode. It works.
Cuber clone. Actually, you
Because
get
at
two
least
versions of
Cubert's the
this.
right color. He was in the
First was
arcade.
a
He was kind of
traditional color
orange or
palette,
peachy in the arcade,
second
right?
was an artifact color palette. This game is
It's also lower res too. It's a P-mode
1983,
1.
and people have been using the artifact color palette for quite some time, but 83. So that isn't an absolute
CoCo?
indicator that the color
CoCo 1 and
artifact
2.
palette was
Well,
the
palette hack might. Oh, now it's
second
white.
version of the
Yes,
game.
today. it should
Yeah, the
look-
game actually
However,
comes with the
big
option to play it
giveaway
both ways.
is that
So
when you load the
Oh,
artifact
okay. So he changed it.
that way it would work in the European market
right
with
away,
PAL
type
because you
in
just play that
Cuber,
first
you
palette
type in
set we saw with the white
which indicates
and the
that
orange
that's the
Cubert,
copy
and then
version
this is the artifacting one
Tom
for the
Mix,
NTSC market.
started out not copied.
I'll leave it up to the viewer to figure out which one they would actually prefer to play.
As I mentioned before, they had a pretty lousy color protection scheme, and it
Didn't do the
caused
animation
a
of
fair
firing
amount of
Cuber up to the top.
problems.
for
No,
me.
but the sound effects were good on this, especially like the cursing word balloon thing. That was
Cubert
pretty
was
good.
one of those games. I think
Yep.
I mentioned in another video that I never played in the arcade. When you only have so many quarters to go, and you want to spend your quarters on games you're pretty certain you're gonna like. So I at least didn't do as much experimenting on games as perhaps I should have. So I wasn't, while I was aware of them, I didn't play some.
Could have
games
made
that
Cubert
I
orange in
ended up
this
later
one.
on liking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This
that
isn't even
works.
a game that I got originally for the color computer. Wasn't until
Because we don't have that many colors, it can get to be kind of busy when you have all those things climbing up the sides and everything else,
Yeah.
So,
collecting again that I played.
In this case, I think he's using the exact same graphics because if you go between a P-mode 3 screen color set 1, the highest, like the full set of bits maps to orange, and on the artifacting one like this, it maps to white. So I think he's just using the exact same graphics.
Probably.
And that's just what colors they map to when you switch between the modes.
I'm enjoying playing it today. I think
It was nice to see Marlon come back because he hasn't been around since the fall. So
yeah.
And I don't know what game he's planning for his last one. Did he mention he was going to try to sneak another one up? But look forward to seeing that. So anyway, that's the game
there's
on.
Cool. That was
the game on news.
Yes. Well, thank you, L. Curtis Boyle, for that. Mark,
I like the fact there's a lot of game development going on right now by multiple
Oh.
people, including people that have not done games before that we've seen, and the old guard as well. So it's cool seeing all the development.
Absolutely. Mark B, you want to run a commercial of your choosing before we go into news? And that way Ron can take his potty break too. Or if somebody wake up Ron, put a mirror underneath him. Put a mirror under Ron, see if he's breathing.
We'll return after these messages.
My fellow Americans, Australians, Canadians, Europeans, and all of you ands, I'm calling on all y'all to help us make the world great again by visiting the Retro Swag Shop at 8bit256.com, where you can get yourself a coffee mug like this with a little cute cartoon character that says, I'm a Coco Nut. You could also get yourself a coffee mug like this with a Color Computer 3 that says, I'm a Coco Nut. You could get yourself a deluxe travel mug like this with the CoCoTALK logo on it. You might even be able to get yourself a DVD like this with over 2 hours of gameplay goodness. It is time for us to rise up and make the world great again by enjoying some quality retro merchandise and CoCo nostalgia. So please visit 8bit256.com and let's make the world great for the color computer. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Coco Land. This is Brian Schubring with Music Man here at the CoCo Fest. Having fun, fixing issues, and making things roll, and making lots of sound. Have a great day, guys.
Baby, there's something I need to talk to you about. Remember when we first met? Everything was so easy and it felt like nothing could stop us. But now, everything is such a struggle. And if I'm being honest, you're really starting to show your age. Can I get the check, please?
Break up with 512K. Use 2 megabytes now with NitroOS 9 Ease of Use Edition.
Ease of Use. Download EOU today at lcurtisboyle.com.
Some people have big plans after school. You know what Elliot's going to do? Jeff, too. Elliot's at work on a book report using Scripted on Radio Shack's Color Computer 3. It hooks up to his TV. And Jeff's at his Radio Shack Color Computer 3 playing the newest football game. But wait, what's Elliot doing playing New Super Pitfall? And Jeff's having a blast with a new math tutor. You never know what you might try with more than 100 programs for fun and learning. Radio Shack's Color Computer 3 comes with everything you see here. Other items each sold separately. Only at Radio Shack.
And now, CoCo Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. I remember the days of grade school, when on the playground we would talk about the latest computer and console games. Until one day, when a kid told the teacher he was having a blast with his new math tutor. After he got out of the hospital, he changed schools.
Hi, this is Eddie Zerbinski from beautiful Quebec City. Vous écoutez CoCoTALK.
As you're enjoying CoCoTALK, we also want to remind you about the CoCo Discord server. This is a place where people come to connect, to ask questions, to provide answers, to share information, and to socialize. So when you're done, why don't you head on over to the CoCo Discord server and we'll continue the conversation there. The easy to remember link is discord.cocotalk.live. See you on Discord. CoCo123 is the Glenside Color Computer Club community newsletter that's been in publication since 1985. While the Rainbow magazine may be gone, it doesn't mean you still can't have a cool CoCo periodical. Head on over to the Glenside Color Computer website at glensideccc.com and then click on the Documents link to view all the past issues of the CoCo123 newsletter. Not only can you read all of the past and present issues, we'd also love to hear some submissions from you. So if you'd like to send an article, a column, something to talk about, maybe even a program listing, send an email to glensideccc@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
From around the world, what you need to know. Get caught up on News with L. Curtis Boyle.
And now a Muppet News Flash.
News intro.
Alrighty. Share another screen.
For those who had not had enough news with Curtis, we're back with more news with Curtis.
Now it's my turn to ego trip like Nick Marotta does. So, all right. So first off, for those who didn't catch it on Christmas Eve, we finally released Nitrous 9 Ease of Use Beta 6 for download. We've got the 609 version. We've got the 639 version. We've got Gimme X versions for those two CPUs as well, for those that are on the beta testing team, which enables the 2.86 megahertz model. We've also got options now for you to change your boot up so you can have a straight SDC style boot, which gives you more system RAM so you can run old level 1 games and stuff like that as well. Or you can switch to a DriveWire one, which has all the DriveWire stuff enabled, but probably is taking too much memory for most level 1 stuff. But we made it fairly easy for you to be able to swap back and forth. And we've got the new boot screen, which kind of gives you information on your system at the hardware level, like what kind of stuff you got installed, how much RAM. It also does a bunch of things behind the scenes that actually change some system settings. So unlike the old days where you had to actually edit your OS 9 boot file and rewrite it and then possibly screw it up and you can't boot at all, this is just all text-based stuff, so you can edit it fairly easy on your own. And then we wanted to show some of the other things that are in there. So we have a little help screen in the upper right. The one on the left here that I just scrolled on, which has Rogue on the left, and then the multi-view demo, and then I have a Basic 9 program that I'm actually running, a listing while it's running as part of the debug mode. It was actually the same demo I used in the Amigos when we were demonstrating Nitrous 9 on their show, on their special. So that's basically just showing multitask. And then, of course, we have the Gem Quest game on the right from Floyd Wrestler, who's actually now getting active in the CoCo community again, is actually going to be doing an update to Gem Quest, which we hope to include in the future as well. But it's all available to download. So far, it's been getting pretty positive reviews from people who've actually had time to try it. There's a few minor bugs that we knew of going in, but as long as they weren't showstoppers, if we had a showstopper bug, we would have delayed the release. But most of them seem to be pretty minor, or they have pretty easy workarounds. Just ask. And if we have some time on the show later, if anybody who's actually tried it and maybe has some questions, can feel free to ask. Bill was going to try to be here today. I don't know if he made it while I was downstairs getting coffee and stuff, but I'll try to answer whatever I can. So I can go out and download it and give us some feedback and let us know what you think.
Very cool. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Next up, Sheldon McDonald has posted 2 more episodes of his Exploring 609 Assembly series on YouTube. And he's got a 2-parter here that's called Converting 2 Bytes to Human Readable Strings. So he's converting 16-bit numbers to the actual, ASCII numerics in assembly language. So I won't play the actual video. You can watch the 2 here. It's a 2-parter on doing that. But he goes through the assembly language. He also shows some of his new tools that he's been working on to make, cross assembly between VCC, for example, and his tools, so that you can actually edit the source in his little editor and then immediately fire up VCC and do it, which I think you experimented, Stevie, with. Roger Taylor had something similar, if I remember.
I hadn't used that one too much, but I've used a few. I've used John Strong's tool, and I've used the Long Branch Never one too. What I use is Notepad++. So yeah, no, okay. It's a great way to do it.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys can read the tabs at the top of his little utility here, the RSTOS tool, but he's actually got a raw disk editor,
program editor,
code storage, and then built-in help too.
Okay.
And he's constantly adding to this and upgrading it too. So this is a work in progress, but he's actually got quite a bit in there now.
That's awesome.
So that was his part 1, and then part 2, where he gets in more into the nitty gritty of it.
Man, that's a nice little source code editor there.
And then he did another one where he did a demo. And this is actually one that he wrote in assembly, and he's just learning. He just started doing his first attempts at double buffering, that he didn't quite do what we would traditionally call double buffering. But basically he made a bouncing lines demo in semi-graphics and with multiple colors. And it was one of his first finished quote unquote projects of an actual demo program. So we'll play a little bit of that here. Actually, I play the whole thing pretty well.
Oh, wow. That is cool. That's like Simon Jonasson level stuff right there. Look at that thing, man.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad little first try there.
No.
Now he's doing double buffering in a sense, but not like we normally would. Normal double buffering, you have 2 areas for the screen reserved, and then you display one and you're drawing on the other. And then you just change the pointer to instantly flip to the other one and display it once it's fully rendered. And then you start rewriting the first one and you just alternate back and forth. And I think from what I read in his description here, what he's doing more here is he's actually doing like Rescue and Fractalist does, where it draws it off screen and then block copies it onto the screen
Kinda
itself.
like a P copy.
Yeah, similar to that. So it's a bit of a slower method of doing it, but it does work. In the case of Fractalist, is because it doesn't line up with MMU blocks, and there's some technical reasons they did it that way. But yeah, no, it looks pretty good. And that's, I mean, he just started doing a semi-language here, a couple months ago, I think. So he's advanced pretty far, pretty fast. I mean, just coming up with a line drawing algorithm for semi-graphics, because it's based on 2x2 blocks.
Yeah.
Is, not for the beginner type thing. So definitely doing well there.
Amazing.
Next up, I hope somebody's got a chance to fully watch this video, because I have not had time. Because this came out right when Ease of Use was in its, working till 3 a.m. thing. But basically, from my understanding of this, is that they're going to take and build a new programmable chip, and it's not quite an FPGA or a CPLD style thing, but they're actually using the 609 as the base. Tim Linder actually is the one who brought this up, so I was hoping he would be on because he knows a lot more about it than I do. But they're taking the 6809 instruction set as the base, but they're making a fully pipelined chip that can run at much higher speeds. Unfortunately, it's not a plug-in replaceable. It's not like you can drop it in a 6809 socket. It's meant for new projects. But if you're familiar with programming the 6809, it's basically the same instruction set, except it's got like a 5 or 6 stage pipeline and much faster access and stuff too. So it can run many times faster. But if you already know how to program the 609, it's just programming the 609. There's nothing different as far as that goes. Just much faster. So I know Tim was pretty excited about it, and then maybe next week if we can get Tim on, I wouldn't mind him to discuss, because he's actually talked to these people a little bit too, just to get the full gist of what they're doing. But they've got all kinds of diagrams explaining. Here's a bit of the history of the why they chose the 6809 over some of the other 8-bit CPUs from the time. And they actually are kind of hinting this might become a commercial project for things that only need an 8 or 16-bit CPU, because they've already got ARM and a bunch of other things for this kind of thing for the higher end 32, 64-bit CPU stuff. But there's still some, certain hardware projects that actually work better with the smaller bus size. So they're kind of aiming at that. And here they talk about how the pipelining works and.
Wow. This is like an actual super presentation thing going on here, huh?
Yeah, it's a full hour presentation, which is one of the reasons I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Wow.
But they from what I briefly did watch it, they're going right into the details of how the whole thing works and what the advantages and disadvantages are. So I do plan on watching it this week now that Ease of Use is finally out, and kind of catch up on it. But yeah, if we can get Tim on next week, because he's much more into this kind of level of stuff than I am, that maybe he can comment on it.
Okay, very cool.
And then somebody on Discord posted, was it Robert Allen Murphy that posted about this? I can't remember. About the CMOC upgrade. If Alan's still on the call, he can verify that was him. I think it was him.
Cross compiler for a subset of the C language. Yes.
So CMOC is one that has been used by a lot of RS-DOS programmers. In fact, the AGD system, I think, used CMOC for most of it. That did all those, cross ports of the AGD games to the CoCo and Dragon from the Spectrum. So this one is basically a bug fix one. A little bit of optimizations on bit shifts and stuff too. And he's got kind of the release notes for the last few versions. But it's good that PR is keeping this actually up to date and constantly doing updates to it. So, and I think there's some OS 9 support in it too, if I remember correctly. So you can do some OS 9 level. You can do OS 9 level 1 stuff in it as well.
Yeah, there is. And in addition to updating the CMOC itself, he also updated a number of the example code packages that he has later down on the page. There's a new one about the new command, and then there's new versions of about half of those from, you can see, over the last month or two. So there's actually been a lot of work going on quietly.
Yeah, and he's making it all public domain too. I mean, there's no restrictions to using this stuff, so it's nice having a very public based new development system. And I know there's been quite a few programs have been using it. I know one of the games we released, a level 1 card game called Color 8, which is kind of loosely based on Crazy 8s. That's part of Ease of Use Beta 6, was written in CMOC. and it was written for both Disk Basic and OS 9. There's versions for both platforms. So we've got the one installed, but if you have Disk Basic, you can run it as well.
Mikey's DW term was also a CMOC project, and it is now linked off of that page as well.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize that. Yeah, because down over here on the lower left is the color 8s I was talking about. I didn't realize DW term was, though. That's cool. Bouncy Ball, that was one famous one we all know of that was written in CMOC. So
there's also an interesting CoCo emulator down in the bottom right.
CoCoTAR?
Yep.
Run Altair Basic? Yeah, I'll have to make an OS 9 version. I can throw it in the emulators along with RSB and the CPM emulator. There's another game here too, a Splinter Break the Bricks game.
Neat.
According to that, that's a CoCo 3 game, 320 by 192. Oh, it is too, CoCo 3. So has he got full CoCo 3 support in there, Alan? I didn't realize he had CoCo 3.
There is quite a bit. There is not full support for things like standard C libraries or all of the different functions of the various hardware, but it is evolving over time, which is why I was interested to see that there were more things coming up than just CMOC itself being updated. So up at the very beginning, there's libraries like bgraph, bcontrol, deck file, things like that that are utility libraries that are specific to CMOC and the CoCo. And it does support some Vectrex work as well. I think you covered one of those last week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's just a ton of stuff there. And he is very open to contributions. So if some of the folks that are really good at hardware programming in both assembly and C have ideas on how to expand those functions, that he's very happy to talk about how that works or add patches or code or whatever. So it already does understand the difference between CoCo 1, 2, and 3, and it does have some specific support, but there could always be more.
Okay. Well, cool. Since you actually sounds like you actually keep track of his progress on this as it is, maybe just fire off me when you get some of the updates here or new demo programs release, new libraries, etc., and I can highlight them on the show.
It looks like his bgraph library looks like includes semi-graphics 8, 12, and 20 more for setting, resetting, and getting pixels in those modes. So imagine using like line, draw, paint, and circle in a semi-graphics mode. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and you could do. I mean, C is generally faster than Basic to begin with, so I mean, you could probably write some pretty cool stuff in this.
And the demo, most of these packages has a test mode and a demo program with them, so that you can exercise the functions of the particular library. So if you dig into that, there is a bgraph demo and a bsound demo that are in each of those zip files that are to illustrate how to use the code, but they'll also show you a quick capability of what it does.
Cool. Yeah, definitely keep me up to date on that, Alan, because I sometimes miss when he does stuff. Because where does he usually announce his updates? Like, I don't see them on the list. I don't usually see him on Facebook or anywhere else. So
me either. I just happen to be checking for another update for something else.
I know he does post things in the Dragon group from time to time.
Yeah, I've seen him post some things, but I didn't see this update. So
pretty substantial.
Yeah, that's cool. It's nice seeing active development environments. I mean, we've got cross assemblers now. We've got the CMOC compiler for both OS 9 and for Rigor Disk Basic, and adding graphics libraries now for the 3 and semi-graphics and stuff too. Like, this is a cool project to watch, and it'll be cool to see what people that like programming in C, what they can do with it.
Yeah, I like both C and assembly, and between William Astel's LW tools and this CMOC, that should open up quite a bit of options for people.
Yeah, and then we've got Jeff Tennyson, who actually contributed his new DCC compiler to the Nitrous 9 Ease of Use project, which is basically the microWare C, but with a lot of added stuff. It compiles to smaller code. It makes faster code. It also includes some C, later C, like ANSI C and even C++ type of conventions, like for doing remarks and some other things too. So it's a bit more modernized from the original microWare compiler too. Plus it has access to all the same libraries. So that one's getting more advanced too as well. So yeah, we've got a lot of development tools that are getting updated these days. So that kind of goes in. Go ahead.
Yeah, DCC also runs on the Linux side as well, and is very close or may already be generating the same binaries regardless of how you run it, either through OS 9 or through Linux.
Yeah, I was actually going to have Jeff come on the show if I could to talk about DCC to explain it a bit better, because he did pretty good posts in the list here when somebody was asking about it. But he's just finishing off his new move to a new house, so I didn't want to pressure him too much for time this close to Christmas. Next up, we've got Erico, who's actually put up his, you've probably seen these exploded views of the CoCo before, where he kind of colorized it, fancied up, and he made a 3D model you could fly through. But he's actually uploaded the actual image files for these now, so you can download them on your own.
Yeah, that is so cool. That is so cool to have it
very well
colorized
rendered
like that. Yep. Got the feet, we got the screws, we got the gimme socket, and that's the power supply receptacle there.
Gimme socket
cartridge
to me?
bay door.
Yeah.
It's
power cord. Yeah, I remember somebody asking a question. Oh, this is great. Now, can you tell me exactly what size screws those are? Because I need to order some replaceable screws. And yeah.
Yeah, they're listed in the book that had that illustration in it.
Yeah, and that's really good. It's nice and clean. I know Paul Shoemaker had done a poster of one of these breakout things before that was available, where you could print it and get like a wall art of it. I'm trying to decide which one I like more. I like the line art one, but I'm thinking I like the colored and shaded one too.
Yeah, that's a tough choice, because I mean, the one is kind of that retro bare bones look of the old tech manuals type thing, and the one on the right's more of a modernized one. But they're both beautiful.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, I think I would do the one on the right if I had to pick just one.
Collect them all.
Collect them all.
Changes.
Yeah.
Just need a CoCo 3 one now. That's the other
right.
one.
Yeah. Good job, Erica. It's a work of art right there, man.
Yes, it is. I won't play this again because we already saw it.
Sorry.
But this was Simon's. I'm sure he didn't have all those songs in the first version we saw a couple years ago. I could swear I don't remember that. I remember the first one for sure.
Yeah, you would hope the author would know, but
well, he might have changed it. Maybe he changed it, not long after he released it originally, and then we just never played it because it was after Christmas. So that could be. But anyway, it's a really cool CoCo 3 demo. Go download it. Multiple.
I know
two voice music.
I know he said it's only got 2 voices, but I could have sworn listening to it, I heard an extra voice. Now I often hear multiple voices in my head, but I could have sworn there was an extra instrument track in there from time to time, like a really high register one that was coming in. But who knows? Sometimes the air plays tricks on you, or there's the perception of something else. But yeah, I really like the music. When I saw this on Facebook, and I was watching this at the right time, and he's like, yeah, make sure you wait till the end. So I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this before, I've heard this before, but I'm like, oh yeah, there's a
that wait to the end, I think implies that he knew that there was extra songs.
Yeah, and then but yeah, it literally gave me the chills just listening to the music. I just saw it at the right time, and it's like, oh man, this is just really cool. So
and it's nice we have multiple decent CoCo 3 Christmas demos now. I mean, we've got on Ease of Use comes with the Sierra demo that was standard across multiple machines, but based on the AGI engine that King's Quest and Leisure Lair, and they wrote a Christmas demo that has a little bit of customization. You can type in a couple of messages of your own to print on the screen while it's doing it. But I know, like Alan was playing in the background on his scene there, and it has Santa and the reindeer flying around and jumping into chimneys and all kinds of stuff. So it's a pretty cool demo. And then Simon's demo, which features multi-voice music running simultaneously with this twisty spinning Santa thing. And there's just been it's been a great software year for the CoCo. I don't know what else to say about that.
What might be kind of neat is if because a couple of years ago John Linville had done Christmas Rush or Xmas Rush, where you had to rescue the tree from the snowman and stuff. And now that he's got his sound chip thing too, it might be cool to get a version of that with some background music, like some Christmas music playing in the background while you're rescuing Christmas trees. That might be cool.
And can you imagine when the MP3 card comes out, what you could do with it? So Simon also released a second demo, and this is a conversion of his bouncing, spinning Taurus thing that he had on the CoCo 3 demo we saw at the fest. Except this is now working on a CoCo 1 and 2. So obviously the color palette's a bit different, but it still looks pretty impressive.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, it looks really good. On the CoCo 3, it's got variant shades of blue, so it's kind of like a steel blue looking. But on this one, only having the 4 colors, it's a really cool rainbow effect, like a heat map.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of what the
like
infrared
thermal,
maps almost.
it kind of reminded me of like the Predator when he's like looking at the infrared stuff, you know?
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought when I saw it too, actually.
So it's kind of cool.
I wasn't going to say it because I thought I sounded like an idiot, but thanks for sharing.
Listen, if you need somebody to sound like an idiot, I'm your guy.
So you cover yourself in mud and watch this video, right?
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Really? The next one's kind of a different thing here. Fedora Steeman has requested that people subscribe to his friend's YouTube channel, and this is Retro Computing with Mike. And basically, him and Mike have an agreement that if they get 1,000 subscribers, and the last time I checked, I think they're at 996, so they're just about there, that they will do either an MC10 or a CoCo video pretty well immediately afterwards. And he goes into retro computing in general. He covers all platforms. So this is the
extortionist to me, but
how many followers does he need to get to not do an MC10 video?
We're not slamming the MC10 here. Jim Gary's been doing awesome work.
Yeah,
Plus, I have
awesome
that game we showed last week. The what was it called?
The shoot up and kill stuff.
Shoot, kill things. Yeah.
Shoot up and kill stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Sucks or sucks depending on your pronunciation. But yeah.
Shoot up, kill stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. Like we were talking about all the new CoCo software that's coming out this year, and
MC10.
some of the stuff we've seen previewed for next year. I mean, even the MC10. I mean, it's been the Jim Gary show for years, and then every once in a while, some other guy would throw in some other basic game. But now we've got machine language games coming out on the MC10 from other authors. So,
and I don't know if you have this queued up in your news, but Darren Autry, kind of like how we have an ultimate MC image for the CoCo. Darren Autry's been compiling an ultimate image for the MC32 SD card thing. So I don't know if you.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I am honestly, as a matter of fact, since I'm not hosting, I'm going to open up a new tab right now, and I'm going to the Zipster zone. I'm going to order that damn thing if it's available. So I want to get that damn MCX type thing here. Yeah.
Anyway, this is Retro Computing's Mike's actual page here.
Oh.
And some of the previous videos he's done going through like BBCs and cheap Chinese retro gaming knockoff consoles and all kinds of stuff. So it looks like a pretty interesting page if you're into retro in general.
I prefer the expensive Chinese retro gaming knockoff consoles myself. I spare no expense on my cheap knockoffs.
I prefer the cheap Chinese original ones. I haven't seen too many of those yet, but the ones that are completely original. But yeah, it looks like an interesting page for the retro enthusiast here. So
there's an excellent accent too.
So yeah, if we can get his subscriptions over, and like he said, he was 4 short at the time I loaded this page this morning. So he might actually be there now. But if not, if you guys wanted 1 to 4 of you subscribe here, we might be able to get him over, and then get our first CoCo video based on there. So and maybe we can help him, getting some of the information he needs to make sure it's accurate.
We can call that the CoCoTALK effect.
He's at 998.
Four subscribers.
Yeah, it causes that and hemorrhoids. It's pretty cool.
I just subscribed. He's down to 2 more he needs.
Cool. And links are in the YouTube chat for those of you watching and not on the panel. So
please, everybody, click on those links.
Okay, next up, Jerry Stratton. We mentioned on the last week's show that he's been going through and putting up some, CoCo 1 and 2 Christmas-related graphics programs that he plucked out of Rainbow and just did a screenshot of whatever. So I grabbed 4 that he did this week. And I mean, obviously it's the day after Christmas here now, or 2 days after if you're in Australia. So I thought I'd show the 4 that he put up this week. So here's a P-Mode 4 one with artifacting colors and a nice little candle and some candy canes. And here's a nice in the manger with the great conjunction up at the top there, I believe. And Ron DeVoe can talk about that. He's the astronomy wizard.
Okay, I've just ordered my MCX 32. there was like a half a dozen available. Now it's -1.
Cool.
Yeah, I wish I caught these in time for the newsletter. So these are nice.
Well, some of these he released before the newsletter came out, but barely, and these other ones came out after. So, yeah.
By the way, I've spared no expense. I've commissioned Ron Delvaux to help us with the cover of the next newsletter. So
cool.
Yeah, I like these. This would be kind of cool to make animated demos out of these too.
Yeah, and if actually that
much
Sierra
work.
Christmas demo, that's kind of
Yeah.
one of the ones they have is the reindeer pulling the sleigh, landing on the roof. Then Santa jumps right out and plummets right down the chimney.
And by the way, 2 days or less, I'm expecting that cartridge. This is the era of Amazon, right? So
cool. Can you do a review on the future show? Seriously?
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to download the ultimate MC10 image. Yeah, I like this. The snow was the star and yeah.
Lit up Christmas trees and yeah. So that was before he plucked out of various rainbows, just little graphics bits they usually put in the December issue. So next up, Paul Shoemaker did in addition to doing his little dark Christmas game engine thing with his cutscenes, he also did a Semigraphics 12 Merry Christmas mini demo using Semigraphics. So I'll play that.
Oh, wow. Dude. That looks so good. It's almost like he's doing palette registers here, but this is very fast page flipping.
Redrawing, yep.
Yeah.
Simple but effective.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Nick's happy that a lot of people are starting to experiment with the Semigraphics mode.
Well, he gets a royalty for that. We have to license that mode through him now. So Crikey. Hey,
and then,
there he
Ken,
is.
since he's actually on the panel, I believe still.
Yep.
Did you want me to start playing and I'll kill the sound and you can kind of describe what you're doing?
Sure, go ahead.
Just kind of tease people here.
Yep. So on suggestion from David Ladd, I got myself a Bluetooth little dongle there and hooked it up to the cassette cable and just to see if I could load things off my computer over Bluetooth. And did a couple of experiments with that just to, see what would happen.
Now, did you find this a lot more reliable than your previous video of doing it?
Yes, absolutely. Way more reliable than the FM, but I more attribute the FM stuff to the fact that I had really old radios that were very crackly. So I think modern radios worked really well for the FM stuff, but the Bluetooth just worked.
So where did you get the WAV files for these to load them?
Actually, I got them right off the Color Computer Archive.
Okay, so they're there.
They're under the cassette. When you go into cassette versions of the programs, most of them have WAV files with them.
Okay, so you could play this straight from the website? You didn't have to download it or anything?
Yeah, I did download it, but you should be able to play it straight from the website.
Okay, that's pretty handy.
So this I thought was cool enough because it does look like it's more reliable. It's probably not getting less electrical interference and stuff too, because on the previous one, of course, your CRTs were built in with your tape decks. I'm sure they're doing some noise, etc. But my favorite part of this video is when you decide to crank it up to 11 here.
Yes, I just put a splitter cable on and hooked up two computers at once.
Oh my
goodness! So I could play on two computers at once. One game, two computers.
So you typed in C load M on both of them, and so they're both in like listening mode, waiting for something to happen. And the minute you hit play, boom, they both start getting it.
You could scale it up for a whole classroom.
Yeah, just put a couple more splitters in there, and it would work. I think you should be able to hook up.
So you didn't experience any noise degradation or anything by doing the splitter? It just plays cleanly?
No, it just actually the splitters worked first time. I already had the sound levels set from doing them individually, so as soon as I hooked the splitter up, it worked first time. So,
and the minute you hit play on your phone,
I was ecstatic to see this go live.
Yeah,
I like the way you hit enter after the C load M's just for dramatic.
Well,
he's not playing from his phone though. He's playing from his Mac.
Are you playing this in fast speed right now? Is that why? Because I'm like, man,
I just sped it. I sped it up for that.
I was gonna say I don't ever remember anything loading from tape that quickly.
Talk to David Ladd. He's doing experiments to speed that up too.
Totally
David's
synchronized
experiments, and I'm going to try David's experiments on doing it on Bluetooth too. So see if
oh
those work.
man, this is super cool.
And double speed.
Also, Stevie, he wasn't loading that off of a phone. He was loading it off of a Mac.
Yeah, it was off my Mac Mini that on the other side.
It should work with either, though, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I've got that exact same adapter that he's got, but Windows 10 doesn't play very well with Bluetooth audio devices, at least for me. But yeah,
There's a news flash. Windows 10 doesn't play well with anything.
Yeah, wow.
That is a really cool project.
Yeah, and that's not something I would have thought of. Like Bluetooth, that actually solves my wireless problem too. Of not having machines that I can fit in the same room, I can just wirelessly blast it across.
Yeah.
Now, if David gets a 6,000 baud cassette thing all fixed up and working there, where it's 4 times faster, well, then we're really talking. Or was I supposed to tease that out yet, David? I'm not sure.
You wasn't supposed to give away future experiments yet.
In the profession, we call this a teaser. Anyway, thanks for that video, Ken. It was really cool.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. I just watched it the other day.
I mean, I thought your original using the old FM transmitter, because I actually have one of those kicking around. I used to use it on road trips years and years ago. It was cool enough, but it was a bit unreliable, like you said, probably from all the interference.
Yeah.
But this seems a much cleaner, once you get the volume level set, you're pretty well golden.
Exactly.
And it's still joking aside there, if you get an 11.1 Dolby surround system, you could load 12 CoCos at once, right? Just each speaker.
Well, the other nice thing too is, Curtis, is that if you have like the WAV file stored on your iPhone or Android phone or Android tablet or your iPad, whatever, and then you connect them to a Bluetooth device, then you can just, do the same thing.
Yeah, well, this would be a good solution for people that are trying to load, say, a DriveWire driver onto a CoCo that don't have an SDC or anything.
DriveWire client or D-load or things like that.
Yeah, because this is just new, it's a straight cassette load, so it's totally compatible with the existing
Boise's
CoCo.
thing called the Getera project, right? So if you needed to load the Getera receiver, yeah, man.
And in fact, you can actually broadcast this to multiple CoCos at the same time. I mean, you can get everything all fired up and running off a DriveWire server pretty quickly.
Pretty neat. Cool job. Thanks for doing that, Ken.
Yeah,
no problem.
Next up, we've got Trey Tomes put up a CoCo 3 graphics demo showing off palette changing and some sine cosine calculations where it goes, so it kind of looks like almost like a firework or something. And he uses the new VCC paste options. You can just paste the code right in instead of typing it in or loading it off something. So he shows that at the beginning. Now, the actual demo here is running fully overclocked because this is a pretty math intensive thing. So it runs dog slow on a real CoCo 3, even with a double speed poke. But if somebody rewrote an assembly, you can definitely get it up to this speed. So first, the paste functionality.
Copy paste.
You can't really type that fast. Like I said, this is overclocked 89 megahertz on VCC, but
that is neat. Nice explosion effects of the. Oh my god, that is so cool! Look at him go! Look at him.
And he starts with bright colors and dims it out, so it looks like a real firework where it gets.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so impressive.
I'd love to see this redone in ML, so it actually runs at this speed on the real thing. That'd be kind of a cool demo.
Yeah, that guy Sloppy Malibu wants to come in the call. Should we let him in?
Tell him to hang on.
I'm sure he's never heard that.
Oh, it just keeps getting better every time.
If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, I believe was your mantra, Nick, so it fits.
Yeah.
Hey, it's really cool. I mean, this would make a nice screensaver demo, to be honest, if you got it up to full speed.
That is cool. I love the
a lot of particle physics, though, so it's math intensive. Next up, and I was hoping Terry Steggy would be on here to talk about this a little bit, because I'm not sure the exact details. I know we've mentioned Antonio's SD card project that you can actually, or SD pack project, I should say, where he was going to bulk buy a bunch of these smaller SD cards for cheap, and then custom make the labels, and then you could sell them, as fairly cheap, like a $2 thing. What he mentions here, him and Terry are going half and half and buying a bulk order. I believe it's 100 cards. And
I think they had to get like 500 to get them at $1 a piece. So I think they're going like $250 a piece or something, like 200, 300, whatever it is. So
from reading the comments below, it sounds like it's about $1.36 each.
Okay.
But I don't have the details. Like, I don't know what size the cards are. Like, are these?
There are, I think there's 64 megabytes. Those are the last comment I remember seeing from him. Like,
oh, okay. Because that'd be like if it was a little bit bigger than that, like if there was a 256 meg for not too much, that'd be a good way for us to hand out, say, Nitrous 9 Ease of Use at CoCo Fest. You know, if you have an SEC, just get this, plug it in, and run it. We could even set it up to auto exec too. So I mean, you just plug it in, turn the CoCo on, and you're booting right into it without having to do anything. And for other games as well, I think that would be a pretty decent thing. So I'm hoping we'll have to find out what the size is. I guess, like I said, I don't know what the exact size is.
Yeah, it's neat. It's a neat project.
I tried to find some inexpensive 256 meg, and I couldn't find them. You would think they'd be real cheap, but when you find them, they're like expensive. They're more expensive than like the multi-gigabyte ones.
Right.
Well, like I said, if Stevie's right that the size of the ones they did find is 64 meg, and they're only $1.36 each. That's hopefully you can find something that's scalable.
I couldn't find it. Yeah, I didn't find anything like that.
Yeah, well, they had to do a bulk order of like 500 units to get the price down. So
yeah,
make it up in volume.
Yep.
Kind of like David Ladd, make it up in volume.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Carlos Camacho's got something going on.
Yeah, we've got two things from Carlos. So the first one here is that his 40th anniversary CoCo t-shirts finally started shipping, and I guess Alan Huffman was the first person to actually receive it, and Brian Weasler was saying he was hoping he would be the first. And if Brian's still on the call, have you received it since then?
Just came in the mail.
Oh, here. Well, keep that to the side here. Once I finish the news here, we'll actually show that so people can see what it looks like.
Make it big. Yeah.
But I noticed he's got some other extra designs here, a few I hadn't seen before, like the Poke 65495. Burn game cycles type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was planning on having these for the fest because of course the 40th anniversary of the CoCo. We're going to have that at CoCo Fest as kind of the theme, to match Bruce's book, etc. And of course that didn't happen because of COVID. So it's really cool that he's actually got the t-shirts out anyway, and the orders are starting to come in. So
very nice.
And then his second post is he's got the badges back in stock for the 2 meg and the 128K. And I saw some comments afterwards. He's even got some of the ones for multi-packs and stuff now too.
Oh,
so
neat.
if you have any damage labels or badges or that are missing ones, you can actually get pretty decent replacements here. And here's a picture of the 2048K one as an example. So those are available for order on his eBay page.
Yeah, and we should point out, it's kind of hard to see from the picture, but his badges are not the metal plate badges like you're used to seeing on the CoCo 3. It has got the clear plastic kind of bubble above it. So it's kind of the jewel top one. It's still got the metal plate underneath it, but it's not like the metal flat engraved embossed one that you're used to seeing on your CoCo 3. It's more like a CoCo 1 kind of space bar, bumpy type thing. Still very great quality, but it's just not exactly the same badge that the CoCo 3 originally had.
Yeah, I mean, stylistically, like the way the graphics are is fairly close, but the materials is a little different.
Yeah.
This was an interesting one. I just found it yesterday. Actually, I was out when I was talking to David Ladd on Discord, and it's a YouTuber I've never heard of before. I don't know if any of you guys have. Real name Asher. His YouTube channel is called World of Wunk, WUNK. And he has a video of his homemade SCART RGB hacked adapter to link to his CoCo 3. I'll play the whole video here because it's just under 2 minutes, just to kind of give you. And he's got this completely like jury rig hacked together. Like this is something like if I tried to do hardware at the very beginning, this is what it would look like. And this was just when he finally got it working. So he's never seen his CoCo with RGB before. So. And let me know if the volume level should go up or down.
I thought I would show you,
up,
particularly Ian, what I was able to finally put together. So
wow.
There's
your
here's
resistor
from the joystick port.
I mean, literally like twist spliced together.
Here's my very scary looking SCART. So I'm gonna give the camera to Pablo here for a second, so you can kind of show
looks like a true engineer.
Pull up. So here's.
I think they call that a prototype.
Here's the driveway. Here's the Python server.
Very scary prototype.
So we'll boot it up.
That's Pi DriveWire, Mikey.
Now that it's running, switch over to the CoCo. So let's boot the CoCo up.
Oh, and he's got the cartridge going on there too. So it looks like he's got an
Oh no.
Okay. So his colors are off.
I didn't
right
touch
there.
anything though. Oh, it's because this part came out. Like I said, it's really
rough. Impromptu.
There we go. Okay.
Boom.
Don't touch it.
So he's got an
that.
HDB
So
DOS
boot up
cartridge.
into Nitros with the disk operating system command. And here it goes and boots up into Nitros, which I couldn't read before, but now look at it.
Holy crap. He's booting into nitrous.
Yeah, if you've ever ran that 80 column screen on a composite, it's a blurry
Got a
mess
little
of
noise, but I'm not
artifact colors.
surprised.
Looks stellar.
I can read it now. See, I couldn't read any of this before. Now I can read it. It's pixel perfect almost. Thank
That's
Anyway,
cool.
it was a pretty cool video, and I love seeing those hack jobs like that.
Yeah,
where
you
you're
literally had
prototyping
to,
something, and then he decided to demo it live on camera, and then the wire popped out. And what the heck? And that
That's
just
cool.
reminds me so much of CoCo people in the past I've known. Anyway, I sent a comment to him there on the fact that there's a commercial version of the SCART adapter, and also updated versions of Nitrous 9 and stuff. So if I get a response of him, I'll see if I can maybe invite him on the show.
Excellent.
And I will state that the prototype of the switcheroo never looked quite that bad.
Well, Jason, you're a professional. We expect no less.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was doing my mods for the SCART cable, I was using a breadboard, which these new cheap Chinese breadboards are just as bad sometimes.
So next up, the CoCo crew released their monthly episode a little bit early for Christmas instead of waiting till New Year's when they would normally release it. And the latest episode has a review of the SUKS game for the MC10 by Neil.
Okay.
But they also have a really cool interview with Chris Burke that's well worth listening to, where Chris goes through, how he got into the CoCo scene, originally working at Motorola in Schaumburg, which was right next to the, you could literally see it from the hotel that the Rainbow Fest used to be held at. And he gets into, making the Birkenberg hard drive adapter and some of the software he's done. They didn't cover everything I would have asked him. There's a few other things I would have asked him about, like how he got involved with the CoCo 3 OS9 Level 2 version 3 upgrade project. He'd also demonstrated a Logitech ScanMan adapter, so you could actually do scanning on a CoCo 3 and stuff. That didn't get covered. So hopefully maybe we can get an interview with him at some time too, and maybe ask him some of the other extra questions, and just kind of get to know him a little bit better as far as some of the projects he's been getting back into the CoCo world the last 2 years. So he's been doing hardware, but we've seen his USB keyboard adapters, mouse adapters, etc. He's a very talented engineer, a very talented programmer. So really good guy. I've met him numerous times at Rainbow Fest and CoCo Fest. So anyway, it's definitely worth the listen to just for the interview alone. Next up, Fred, is it Ricky? Is that his last name? Ricky?
Yeah, Fred Ricky.
Okay. Announced this morning, so I just got this morning for the show, that he's released his CoCo Basic Dignified and CoCo Sublime tools. And then he also released a SemiGraphic 24 demo snake game and drawing program written with these tools. So he's got the links here on his GitHub to actually download the sample program code for his little demo. And then his Basic Dignified and Sublime tools, which are editors and stuff that kind of make the CoCo programming into a more modern vibe. It's kind of like the, what's the other project called we've demonstrated a few times, where it looks like a modern language, but it converts it back down to like this
super basic.
Yeah, that type of thing. So this is the announcement page with all the links on Facebook here to get the various things. And then I will run the video.
We've had him on the show. He's in Brazil.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
So this is just a little 30-second clip, and you can kind of see on the still shot before I started up here, he's got it, no line numbers. It just looks like a modern language, color code, and everything else too. And then you actually see the demo.
Expandable.
Yep. So you can
collapsible.
fold your loops back up or expand them back out.
Just building it, and it pops up X-Roar. Wow. That's fast too, huh? Man, that is so good.
Yep. And there's the converted code to show you what it turned into after it took the prettified modern version and converted it down to the CoCo. So that's a pretty cool project. And he's released the tool set now and his demo program. So you can get all of that on his GitHub site. And then the last one, is Sloopy still here?
Hang on.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I understood some of this and some of it I didn't, so I'll just let you explain them all. So if you want to go through your two main projects here and explain what they are, and then I'll
okay.
I'll bring up the first one here.
Yeah, the first one there I explained last week and such on the show, but as a recap, it's basically it allows you to put HDB DOS with DriveWire in your CoCo 3. It supports HDB DOS with DriveWire for the CoCo 2 and for the CoCo 3. Even though this board only works in the 3, that's so that if you are running stuff that you don't want high speed mode, you can use the HDB DOS for the CoCo 2. And it also has, I'm not sure if it's pronounced YaDOS or YaDOS, but it also supports that in there too. And this allows you to obviously have DriveWire capabilities without having to use the cartridge port, and leaves the cartridge port open for your CoCo MIDI, among other things.
Or an Orchestra 9 or any other hardware card. So this way you can run DriveWire, even if you don't have any form of a multi-pack, along with an extra hardware card, whether it's a sound card or whatever, RC32, whatever.
That is correct.
Now I'm trying to remember, in the CoCo 3, is the ROM socketed or is it soldered?
In mine, it was soldered.
Okay, yeah. So that's the one thing you have to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to unsolder.
Not for me, it ain't.
If you have the right tools, yes.
Yeah.
Or if you have a PAL CoCo has them socketed.
No, thanks for rubbing that detail in, Nick.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
the
but
North
Nick
American
does that a
ones-
lot.
Yeah.
I don't think the North American CoCo 3s have anything socketed, do they? Out
No,
from
I
the
don't think so.
factory.
The joysticks, the serial port, and the cassette port are all socketed.
Yeah. And here's your second project. Now, this is the one I didn't really know how to explain in the first place, so I'll let you totally handle this one.
All right. Yeah, this is the one. I've talked about it only a little bit on the Discord server. Basically, what this board does is you remove the PIA from your CoCo, and this one will work. Unlike my other one, this one will work in any CoCo. And what it does is you take the PIA out, put this board in the slot, and then put the PIA into the top of this board. And then that header on the left, that will you plug in an ESP8266 Wi-Fi module, and it'll connect your Bitbanger port straight to the Wi-Fi module, so that you can use a Wi-Fi module directly connected without having to use a cable with level shifters and all that. It already has all that built into it. The added benefit of this, if you use it in a CoCo 1, evidently the RS-232 port on the CoCo 1 is limited to the 38.4K baud, and this will allow the CoCo 1 to do a full 57.6K baud. And it can also, if your Wi-Fi is not your thing, as some people don't care much for it, you can actually use an TTL to USB adapter for a wired connection.
Okay, so this gives you a Bitbanger speed up for things like DriveWire for all CoCo 1s.
Yep.
And it enables you to do it without using specialized cables with shifters and stuff as well. So it's a bit of a simpler thing to plug in.
Yeah, you just pull out your PIA and then plug this in, and then plug in either the ESP8266 module, or you connect a
Dash 01.
Yeah, what he said.
Yes, dash 01.
Thank you, Dave.
Now-
welcome.
Now listen here. Just because I showed you that board didn't mean that you had to go even further.
So
Hey,
how
I
do you
already
get
gave
it
up.
on your Wi-Fi? Do you have to connect it to a PC first to configure it?
Honestly, I don't know. I've had 2 of those boards for a year now, and I've yet to use them on anything. It's just that I actually was designing this board for using a TTL to USB adapter.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave actually said to me, he goes, you could probably put an ESP8266-01 on there.
Yes, okay.
And I said, yeah, probably could. And then when I went and looked at it and thought about it, I was like, well, if I designed it for the ESP8266-01, that the TTL to USB would be just as simple as a couple wires plugged onto the header. So I have not actually done the Wi-Fi module yet, but my CoCo 1 actually has the TTL adapt, the TTL to USB, and that's what I'm actually using for drive wire on it.
Cool.
If you use Alan Huffman's port with a Xi modem, it should just plug in and look just like a modem. You can just dial up a Telnet BBS or such. Yeah,
that's from what I understand. There's Xi modem, and there's a couple others that emulate the AT command set, phase command set. So.
And then this last picture here, Sloopy, this is actual boards you've got actually with the internal drive wire.
Yes, those are actual boards, the actual boards that I made for, because my original board was just point-to-point soldered. Wires weren't twisted together, but they were. I haven't done the twisty wire thing since probably 1980. Well, we'll go with 1989 because I don't want to be that old.
I've done that kind of stuff with speaker wire before. I had like kind of twist splice some speaker wire and then electric tape them or something. But
so since you've got actual boards made here, is this something you plan on selling later, or what's your ultimate goal here?
Well, in general, I make projects that I want for myself, and if other people show interest in wanting to buy them, then I'll make more for other people. And because I've gotten at least 2 or 3 people that said that they've wanted one, I'm going to be making a run of these boards at the very least. The other ones, they were just announced yesterday. Not many people knew of their existence until yesterday. So I've already got 2 people that have said that they want one. So I'm probably going to make a run of them also.
Okay, so since you are planning on making a small, at least a small run of these boards here for people that are interested, do you have a price in case other people that are watching the show and haven't heard of this before, of what you plan on selling these for, or do you know that yet?
I haven't really thought about it yet, but literally a best guess for this board would be complete with those ICs on it would be no more than $25 at most.
Okay. That's pretty cool to have it in like an internal, boot straight to, off drive wire type thing.
Drive wire.
The most significant cost of it is the ROM, the flash ROM. So those are like $5-6 each. The other board, it's probably like 18 to 20 at most. And that would include an ESP module or a TTL to USB module.
And the neat thing too, Sloopy, is that you're relatively new to the community. You're an Apple guy. No, excuse me, Atari guy. I didn't mean to insult you. You're an Atari guy.
I'm assaulted.
And but you've come in and you're already making some CoCo hardware projects. That's pretty cool for being kind of, new to the system.
Yeah, well, I've been designing hardware for a year or 2, so 430.
That's cool.
I've had this long standing habit of not leaving things alone.
I think some of your demos, I think you were showing on Discord, there was suddenly something would stop working or blow up. Kind of a test.
I just had to jiggle the one wire and get the picture back up, man.
That's what the jiggling makes it work.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I smoke, so that I can deny that my projects are on fire.
And I'm just glad we're not playing the David Ladd drinking game right now with all those ESPs and TTLs and drive wires. We'd all be wasted right now.
The hardware acronym game.
We can throw some flux and grease weasels in there too.
Oh, I'm sure you could, David.
Hey! I got a cat weasel. Doesn't that give you a finish your drink?
Yeah.
What
I
about
think Cat Weasel, because that's
yeah.
actually a retro Weasel board. That one deserves like a double shot.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got it. It's actually in the computer over behind me. A cat weasel, the PCI version.
Noise.
Yeah.
Cat
Tim
Weasel.
Linder years ago lent me his ISA bus version of the Cat Weasel so I could back up some of my old copy protected games. So
Yeah, I also used to have the cat weasel that went on the Buddha IDE hard drive card for the Amiga. So
Neat.
anyway, yeah,
projects.
like Stevie said, it's really cool that you haven't been in the CoCo community that long and you're already designing some pretty cool hardware projects that have other people interested in buying them from you. So that's a good feather in your cap, I think.
yeah, I mean, right now it's just a matter of scraping together the money just to get the boards made. So
Well, if you sell them and make a little profit for yourself, I'm sure nobody would complain.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
At least cover your manufacturing, shipping, et cetera, costs, and kick in a couple extra bucks for yourself.
yeah. So
Neat. Like it.
Yep. And that's all I had for the news today.
Yay.
So,
Even
Mr.
better.
Mikey
Brian
can wake up
Weasler,
now
if you want to show off that shirt there you got, before I forget.
and get if Mark can make him big. Yeah. There he is. TRS-80 color computer 40th anniversary 10 print 1980. See here, I'm calling shenanigans this one. I don't think the tilde key exists in extended basic, does it? 1980
Not
to
sure.
2020.
No, but it does in OS 9, so that's all that matters.
What do you got to think? Cool. Nice. There's the CoCo. There's the color computer system block diagram, because everybody needs to have that on a t-shirt. Radio Shack TRS-80 color computer. Yes. Very cool.
And nothing screams sex magnet like a schematic breakdown like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, babe.
You'll attract other engineers at least.
Yeah, David Ladd will follow you around like a puppy dog after that. So
That sounds more like a warning than a benefit.
I'm more a sophisticated engineer. I prefer a full schematic.
Watch out, David Ladd's a hugger.
Yeah, you're gonna need a bigger shirt. We can do that, or we can do a commercial first. It's up to you guys. If there's any questions, I don't even know. I haven't been kind of following the chat too much, so.
I don't know if there's been in the chat, but if we open it up questions, I'm sure if somebody had some. We can also try to say hi to.
Why don't we take a break and open
Let's take a
up the
break and we'll
chat to
figure it out
questions.
during the break. There we go.
Yeah, so any questions you guys have for Nitrous 9 Easy of Use Beta 6, have them queued up and ready to go for after the commercial break.
There you go. Boom.
And now, this message.
Hi, it's Curtis Boyle, part of the CoCoTALK crew of people.
Hey everybody, this is Bill Noble, co-author of Nitrous 9. You are listening to CoCoTALK Live, the leading live CoCo talk show.
Good day, mates. This is Nick Marionettes, author of such color computer titles as Donut Disaster, Rupert Rhymes, and Rockstar Pilot. And I am here today to tell you about the world's most fabulous operating system, OS 9. OS 9 and its current incarnation, Nitrous 9, is the most advanced operating system ever created. And what makes it so good? Ease of use. I find OS 9 so incredibly intuitive that I haven't once cracked open the user manual, and yet I've been able to create such incredible games faster than the time it takes to sing Waltzing Matilda. Using OS 9, I expect my next game, Funstar will be done this weekend and distributed exclusively on ROM cartridge. OS9 forever.
Any resemblance to actual events to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
Hi, this is Max Jackson live from CoCo Fest. And listen to The Real Game, Steve Schroe.
We're traveling through a dimension both of sound and ideas. We're at a place where the mind can comprehend and devise a solar radio, a wireless transmitter, measure time and light. 65 electronic projects brought to reality with this science fair kit. Astonishing? Perhaps. But you can find it for Christmas for $17.95 in a place that's known as Radio Shack.
Radios, stereos, recorders, everything in sound. A whole new approach. Faster than ever. A window to a world of possibilities. Clear your expectations. Clear your hesitation. Just hit clear.
Download EOU today at lcurtisboyle.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I think even some people on the panel here had some questions. I think Tom Heron was one in particular that had some questions. If it's going to end up being an answer that's quite complicated, long, we'll probably just say, we'll pick it up on Discord later. I don't want to type everybody's time for hours here.
Yeah, don't make me call asparagus.
But first of all, I guess my first question for the panel, and we'll wait for stuff to come into the chat too as well, is how many of you people have actually downloaded the new Ease of Use? So like I said, it just got released Christmas Eve, and of course everybody was busy with Christmas to their families on Christmas Day. So I'm not sure too many people have had time to really delve into it. But for those that have, what's been your opinion so far? Have you hit anything that doesn't work right or looks weird or have questions about?
So the only thing I've noticed is that it says Nitrous 9 6309 twice on the start screen. And on Discord, I filed several not bug reports for all the stuff that I was able to carry over from my Ease of Use 5 without any fuss, muss, hassle, or anything. And this one command thing to turn on DriveWire just needs to go. DriveWire is supposed to be all complicated and hard to get going in OS 9 and that kind of stuff. Just type in one command and then DriveWire works on your next boot. It's too much change. I can't handle it.
Well, I can recommend downloading the repository version if you want to do it all manually. That's still available.
Been playing.
Some people are just never happy.
Go
ahead, Rick.
Said I've been playing with mine, and about the only thing I had to do was stick T2 in term set, and otherwise I'd drop my old serial drivers into it and remote logins, and everything works fine. I'm really enjoying the experience so far.
Have you noticed much of a speed increase from the old days, or?
Compared to the old days, it's a whole different machine.
I'm just not getting to the features 51 through 54 part of the swap boot and Cisco and all of that. So I'm still doing things the heavy-handed old here. I'll just plop in a startup and load S16 550 and call it a day. But I can't wait to. This has been a pretty good Christmas. I got this, and then I got my the Cocoa Pi running on my Pi 4. So I've got too many toys right now.
I will mention Ron Klein is actually working actively on getting the Cocoa Pi Easy to Use Beta 6 ready, and he's probably going to default it to having the hardware clock on, so that you don't have to type in the time, because you can do that on the Pi built-in.
Yeah,
So
what a tearjerker! I loaded the latest Nitro, and it was still Beta 5.
Oh, from the Cocoa Pi repository.
Exactly.
It should be out pretty quick. I also just got literally while we were talking here, I got a text from Bill that he's got a Matchbox version ready for Beta 6. He's going to be sending it to me to put on the website and also upload to the archive. And that one modifies it to do the 80 by 60 hardware text screens.
Nice.
If you have a Matchbox.
Nice trash can.
I would like to know how to navigate the SD card.
From Nitrous 9?
Yeah.
Right
Not
now,
even
there's
possible.
the SDC command written by Barry Nelson. Bill has started one to be a bit more easy to use, but it's because we had a lot of core OS stuff to fix up here for the release. He didn't quite get it finished yet, so it's a little bit buggy. But the 6.1 maintenance really doing within the next couple months. We're going to wait for bug reports and stuff to come in too to see if we can fix some other things too. But some of the stuff we just didn't have time to get finished for the Christmas release here. That's one of the things we plan on being in there, is a way to make that much easier.
Okay.
I mean, right now, if you're booting with SDC Explorer, you can mount the main drive as drive 0, but then you can mount a different SD image as drive 1, and then you can access it through H1. So you can do it that way, or you can run the SDC command within, and then follow the text prompt stuff that Barry has built in.
It'd be good if somebody would make a video on how to do some of that stuff. Just a short video.
Funny you should mention that. Rob Inman and I were talking just as we were getting the press release ready for it, that one thing we want to do on CoCoTALK and in general is to maybe do for the next little while kind of a weekly segment where people can send in some questions of how to do certain things, or things that they think we should help teach people how to do, and do a quick video segment that we can probably even pre-record it if it's a fairly small one, or we can sometimes do an interactive one if we need to show people step by step, live, and they can even try it live while they're watching the show. So we're planning on doing some tutorials and demos and stuff like that over the next couple of months.
That would be great. And I was able to make the PC font come on, but only on the screen after you get the starting screen. You can't do it on the blue screen, on the blue window. If you hit
Yeah,
tab.
if it's a hardware text screen, you're stuck with the Gimme font because that's the one built into the Gimme.
Well,
you have to switch to a graphic screen.
After 5,000 tries, well, a few.
Yeah.
I figured, well, you know what? I just won't be able to do it here. So I go back over there, and the other thing was, you have the list of fonts, the demo. I went on there and looked at all those, and after you type in display and those numbers, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to type in the $ number or just the number of the font. And I finally figured that out. It's just the number of the font, right?
Yeah, it defaults to hex, so you can do that. There is options in display. You can switch it to decimal if you're more comfortable with that. I think you have to put a period before each number, and then it'll interpret as decimal. So display will work both ways.
Yeah. And then if you change the font and then bring up G Shell, you get a mystery menu at the top of the screen.
G Shell's got some hard coding in it for fonts because it needs certain size fonts, and it needs to do narrow fonts and stuff, which the DOS font doesn't have support for. So there's some hard codedness in certain programs. And there's only, I think 3 or 4 narrow fonts in there right now. There's one that G Shell uses, a standard one. There's a Mac style one. I can't remember what the other one is off the top of my head, but there's a few of the narrower fonts. We're actually planning on doing a bit further work on fonts, actually, probably not for 6.1, but maybe 7. Bill and I have some long-term plans, which I'm not going to announce now, but that'll hopefully make things a lot easier for manipulating fonts. But basically, to answer your question, you have to be in a graphics window to run any of the fonts besides the built-in Gimme one. And you can do that. Your quick and dirty way to do it is just fire up, G shell, and then just do the Tandy menu and do shell. And then just, draw a square box, how big you want your shell to appear on the screen. And that's always a graphics one. So then your display commands will work from there. Or you can create your own manually too.
I noticed that some of the windows that come up for help aren't big enough to see all the help, and they scroll off, and there's some of
It
the
should
help that's
pause.
missing. Yeah, it does pause, but that you miss some of the text. You know what I mean? Like the window's too small.
Are you running in 40 column or an 80 column?
Gosh, I don't remember.
It'd be 40, I'd say.
Yeah, if you're still running 40, then yeah, it might overflow some of those because some of the lines in the help file are pretty long.
So it's a basic idea is to go to the 40 or to the 80, column.
If you can. I mean, the reason we have 40 as a default is because there's quite a few people new to the CoCo that are running these on TVs and composite monitors.
And the
so
first
at least
thing,
it's readable.
The first thing I did was take it off composite.
Yeah, I imagine most people that are have RGB monitors will be doing that.
It came up as red, and I thought,
yeah,
there's something missing here. But I figured it out.
That's Nick Moreni's main complaint of the difference between PAL and NTSC CoCo 3s is because the PAL machines, your colors were exactly the same between composite PAL and RGB PAL. Yeah. So they don't have to worry about any of this. It just comes out right. NTSC, the North American variant, that's the one where the colors are completely and utterly different from each other with the same value. And that is a pain in the ass. So we have ease of use defaulting to composite and defaulting to 40 column on your boot screen, defaulting to 40 column in G shell, just so that you can make it readable. But if you have an RGB monitor, I would highly recommend going in and changing your settings to 80 column and RGB.
Can you make 80 column standard then? So
yes.
It comes up. So you just go over.
You can change the boot screen and G shell both to come up 80 columns. Yeah.
You go over to
Control's got an issue, actually. This was just discovered at the late stages here. We've added so many new variables into the environment file that G shell has a fixed size buffer, apparently. Now, we have added ones before, and it didn't cause this problem, so I didn't realize. I thought they were doing it line by line like some other utilities do. But it tries to read in the whole thing at once, and now it's overflowing. So when you try to rewrite it back out, you can run Control and make temporary changes. Just don't save the changes, and it'll work for your current session. But if you try to save it, it actually will corrupt your environment file. Now, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but he's started working on a new control program, and Bill and I are going to help him with it. And I think Bill Pierce is actually working on a version of doing the same thing in his new version of M Shell as well. But you'll be able to properly edit and save your settings in the control program and Gprint and in the ports off the Tandy menu too. So that'll be coming. That was something we didn't realize until fairly late in the game that was actually a problem. So the fun of beta testing.
Well, thanks for it. It's great. It's getting more fun as time goes on.
Good. That's good to hear. We had some really good feedback. Like one thing that surprised me, like the swap boot system I came up with was actually to help me and Bill for testing, because we have to swap between emulators and CPUs and monitor types and everything else. So I just did that as a hack to be able to switch through them easily without me having to remember to copy all these files all over the place. And it seems to be probably the most popular option on the new system right now, because it makes it really easy. And you can make your own. You can fit up to 20 different custom boots. And some people were asking in the emails, why do we also copy, separate startup files and environment files? Because wouldn't you want your colors and stuff set the same between everything? Like if you're booting a DriveWire boot or just a plain SDC boot or an emulator boot or whatever. And actually, one of the things that we had a request for earlier when we started talking to some of the beta testers about this was that you can actually create a theme. So if you want your plain SDC boot to say you have white on black text as a default, you can set your environment file for your plain SDC boot with those colors. Then you want your DriveWire boot to have white on dark blue or dark red or something like that in the background, so that when you boot it up visually, you'll instantly know which version you have booted, because you've designed it that, I want a blue background. That means I'm running DriveWire. I want a black background. It's SDC or whatever colors you picked. So you have a visual cue, even if you just come to the CoCo a day or two later and forgot what the last boot you did was. You can just take a look. Oh, that's what I'm running. So you can kind of custom design your colors and stuff based on your boots and make your own if you want to add in MIDI or 16550 drivers like Rick Loon's doing, or any other thing you want to do, or custom boots for hardware, custom boots for certain software. Then you can have up to 20 at once in the current menu system. And I think we're only using a max 4 depending on the system you got now.
I have one last thing to ask you, and I won't bug you anymore. But when I put, I used M shell and copied some stuff over from floppy to the pictures CM3 files, and I clicked on it, it wouldn't come up. I think I briefly talked to you about it on chat, on Messenger. But how is it that it doesn't automatically have view to look at it? How do
I got to check on that. I do know, like, we have a 639 version of View. It's a
tried
lot
it on-
faster, and it
I
has a
tried it
lot
on-
of extra options.
I tried it on the 6309 version. It did exactly the same thing. It just
Yeah,
has
well,
my
I don't have it
file as-
enabled on the 639 version. It's actually there, but you have to load it separately, because I found out that on CM3 files, it actually just bombs out. It doesn't display. It doesn't crash the machine, but it won't display them. And apparently that's a bug I had when I last updated View back in 1999 or whatever, and I just didn't notice at the time. And
Right,
I've lost
so-
the source code, so I have to reconstruct all that and fix it.
Okay, so would GIFs work, or?
Yeah, they should. In fact, the 639 version actually supports animated GIFs and stuff too, which I'm not enabling right now because the 609 doesn't have the matching one, though it could. And I do plan on back implementing all the changes I had done to the 609 version back to the 609. And I can speed up the 609 version. We've done some changes to the system on how you define get put buffers for doing full width of a screen, that you can now speed up and cut the number of calls in half. So the 609 would actually display pretty well any horizontal based format. So that means like MGE, VEF, GIF, and a few other formats. It'll display all of those faster, even on the 609. So that's something I'm planning for the 7.0 release.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? I know, Tom, I think you had wanted to ask some questions.
I think most of mine are probably pretty specific. Like I'm just, maybe I should do this is my life, because I think my questions are going to lead into that. I mean, just to put it in context a little bit, should I do that or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So I graduated high school in '84, just to give you an idea of my age. And I think I know I started with the Sinclair ZX80, I think in 1980, when I was like a 9th grader. And I think by the time I was done with high school, I had a CoCo 1 maybe in 83 or 84. And then I bought a CoCo 3 and got OS 9 back in, I don't know, late 80s. So I used my computer quite a bit during college, just to do homework on the side, and I would use it to also remote into the college computers, like the DEC VMS machines, using the modem, and the program was called Micro Terminal. So that was, just handy to have the machine. But after I graduated, I got my computer science degree. As a C developer for about 15 years, but on an IBM PC. So I just kind of boxed up all the CoCo stuff. So I'm still a computer programmer from a job, and I work at a company called SAP. So I've always wanted to do something a little more significant for the CoCo. So I'm just kind of getting back into it. But I know very little about just the whole landscape of everything that's available out there. So it's kind of overwhelming. I thought I'd start with Basic 09 and just try to get something going here. And over the weekend, with Curtis's help, I got the new release of the ease of use going with the VCC, and I wrote a little program to have a snake bouncer on the screen, which this is kind of like Hello World, using the GFX library and so forth. So I think the next thing I want to do is get a C compiler and write the same program in C within Basic 09. I don't know why, but I just want to write something in Basic 09. I've got a game idea. So one of my questions would be like, which C compiler would be the best one to use targeting OS 9? Or I'm sorry, Nitrous 09, sorry.
We'll probably be a bit biased here because it's part of ease of use, thanks to Jeff. But Jeff has released DCC, which is basically the microWare C compiler with some additions. It's got some, ANSI C stuff in it. It's got some C++ stuff in it too. It's a little bit more optimized than the microWare C compiler too. Now, this is technically a beta as well. We haven't discovered any problems with it so far. but there could be. So, but it would write slightly better code than the equivalent micro C compiler. But it's basically code compatible. So micro C compiler code should work fine in it. So, and both of those C compilers are installed in Ease of Use Beta 6.
So which compiler was that called?
DCC.
D
as in dog.
Oh,
yeah.
DCC.
And it's also a whole suite. If you want the full details, there's a couple of documentation files we included with Ease of Use Beta 6 called DCC, blah, blah, blah. I think there's 2 of them that are basically notes from Jeff. If you have any specific questions on the compiler itself, Jeff is definitely the person to ask. And Bill would be second. I'd be a dead last third.
And then you can call GFX type calls with that as well?
Yeah, the CGFX7 library, I believe, is included, which has a whole ton of stuff in it. So and that works with both the microware C compiler, the original C compiler, plus it works with DCC.
Okay, well, thanks for all that. So yeah, I'm just, I went to the Color Computer Festival last year, or in 2019. So yeah, I ran around with my notebook, like Steve said, because I'm just trying to figure out, like, it's like, wow, all the things, I can't believe people are building hardware for it, and just everything else. So, I thought I used to know what I was doing quite a bit, and I wrote some just regular assembly routines, but nothing fancy back in the day. But again, that was like 30, 40 years ago. So anyway, so cool. And thanks for doing the ease of use offering.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, it's so neat.
Yeah, and feel free, like Bill and I are both open, and Jeff as well are always on Discord. In fact, I can see they're both logged in right now. So if you have any questions, just put it in the appropriate channel, and one of us will get back to answer you.
Yeah, well, thanks so much. Oh, one other quick question is, like, the LW tools at the CoCo Fest, I saw that, with CMOC, that the LW tools had the linker, I think, is one of the tools in LW tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
To do linking with CMOC compiler, but that targets the regular basic environment, right?
I think it does lowest 9 level 1, 2, possibly. I mean,
Okay.
the C compilers from Microware and the DCC have their own linker in ease of use. So,
okay, never mind. I just need to read more documentation. So sorry for bugging you all.
No problem. Yeah, I did see one comment there from Mendelio 420. Mentions, I don't like using modern tech with my vintage computer game systems unless necessary. I mean, hard drives were available from 1984, 85 on the CoCo, so that's definitely period correct. The SDC is an easy way to do that with SD cards, just changing the storage it's actually on. But I mean, it's all running natively on the CoCo, so I don't know if I'd consider that to be too modern. Yeah, and in the case of the SDC, it replaces our hard drive and a floppy drive simultaneously. So it's kind of it saves you from having getting an MPI in a lot of cases. Because in the old days, you'd have to have a floppy controller and a hard drive controller, which means you had to have an MPI to run both. Yeah. So anybody else downloaded any first impressions or questions? And thanks for your quick review there, Rick.
Oh, hey, everything works pretty well. Like I say, I dumped like the same 4 files I've dumped on the last 3 beta releases, and I've got my right colors, my terminals work. It's keep going.
Have you ever considered doing a graphic to come up instead of hiding all the text as it goes?
We did consider it.
A splash screen.
But most people we've talked to too have kind of said, we prefer something that, it's cool to see that the first few times you boot it up with a graphic screen, which takes longer to draw, longer to load. So it slows down the boot process a little bit. But they said, after the 4th or 5th time, it's like, no, I just want to get in and get doing what I wanted to do rather than, sit and wait. So, I mean, we do have that one kind of joke one there, the boot win program that actually boots up Windows 95 for you.
Yeah, to be frank, I'm going to use your new swap boot thing to create a boot that loads like 4 color patterns and 1 font and go.
Yeah, and just it gives you a nice clean system map. Yeah. Well, that's the reason we did that, actually, is that you can customize it to your heart's content and actually have all of these available.
Yeah.
Any others? I realize this is kind of rushed since we, like I said, literally released it 2 days ago. Not even a full 2 days yet, and then we had Christmas in the middle, so a lot of people haven't tried it yet. So we'll probably do a follow-up next week when people actually had a chance to hammer through it.
This is where we need Mark to hit the button that says ease of use.
He might have fallen asleep. We're talking about Nitrous 9 after all.
No, he said he was running as soon as Nitrous 9 started.
And Nick's only sticking around here because he wants to see the trash can if we sneak a picture of it on at some point. So,
oh, don't worry. We can start talking about floppies. I'm sure they'll put Nick to sleep.
I'm out of here.
Oh, it might be done. Like I said, there's probably not too many questions on ease of use yet this week, just because it's so recently released. So, I think
all
so.
the credit, sir.
I think so. Tom, welcome.
Thank you very.
Yeah,
Come back again.
Yes, you can come anytime. We're open here. We encourage people to join and take part
and come back.
And you'll and sign up for Discord if you haven't already.
I did already. Yeah.
This concludes another episode of CoCo Talk, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer. For all things CoCo Talk, visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live.
CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world.
Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, click the Patreon link at our website at CoCoTalk.live.
CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world.
CoCo Talk would not exist without the community, its cast, crew, and contributors. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholzer, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Nick Marentes, Ron Delvaux, Rick Adams, Jason Reichert, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Tom C., Rob Inman, Mark Bosley, Brian Joyce, Ken Reichert, David O'Connor, Brian Weasler, Terry Steggy, Nick Marotta, John Strong, and many more, especially to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and James Differendaffer for making my head explode. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its various contributors. A list of resources is available at imacoconut.com. That's IMACOCONUT.com. The CoCo Talk theme song is copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Sheeler. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore.
Oh, we're getting in our best behavior now. Hello.
Do we have one more? This is the last one this year?
This is.
Yeah.
This is our last of 2020.
We should say goodbye to this year.
Yes. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everyone.
Buck off.
Next year. Yeah.
Buck off. Happy New Year.
The next year can't be as bad as this one. That's all I gotta say. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I know, cursed it now.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to make one quick mention. I will be putting the Matchbox version up for anybody who has a Matchbox not too long after the show. And Ron Klein will probably have the Cocoa Pie version of Ease of Use out this week too. So Any of those of
Cool.
you that have those platforms, look forward to that.
Oh yeah.
Push the button,
Well,
Frank.
it's been a
Bye,
year.
everybody.
Next year.
Happy
20
New Year.
2020 highway.
It can't be worse. I